And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for joining. We got a whole lot going on. There's the We Spa protest, I guess you would call it. Hard to call it a protest when one side is being attacked while peacefully protesting. It's like, one side's doing one thing, the other side's doing something else. We'll talk about the whole situation in a minute. Also, Sha'Carri Richardson suspended for 30 days over the whole weed kerfuffle. We'll miss some of the Olympics. She's a track star. Probably the best talent coming out of the 100-meter dash. Not sure about the other events, but definitely in the 100 meters, a front runner to win. Got suspended over the whole weed thing. We'll talk about that as well. The White House cringy tweet talking about your your 4th of July meal is going to be 16 cents cheaper. Why would you even promote that? Like, even if it's true, 16 cents, what am I going to do with 16 cents? Really? Like, let's think about it for a minute. Also, the Chicago mayor talking about the criticism toward her have been largely based on her race and gender. There was a fire in the Gulf of Mexico, like inside the water. People are blaming that on capitalism. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all for joining me. You could be anywhere, but you're right here with me live on the show. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy what you heard so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're on your favorite audio streaming platform listening to me right now, give me a 5-star rating. Give me a comment, a review, a share, subscribe. Whatever you can do over there, do that for me. And I'd appreciate it if you did. So we're going to get into the Sha'Carri Richardson thing a little bit later in the show, because that's kind of a hot topic right now, but we will get to that. Trust and believe we will get to that. But let's talk about, you know what I'm going to talk about first? I think I'm going to talk about the Gulf of Mexico situation happening right now. Now, this is kind of a funny thing that's been happening on the Twitters. People are talking about the fire that happened in a weird way. Now, if you don't know what's happening, let me pull up what's going on. So there was a gas leak in the Gulf of Mexico next to a oil platform, and it was burning like in the water for like 5 hours, but see, with the way that the media and other people, the way they want to make it seem is like it was burning forever and ever and ever, talking about the sea's on fire and it's not stopping. It's a raging inferno. Matter of fact, can I find a good picture of that? Hold on. I want to find, okay, so here's the one that's been kind of going around. It's a raging inferno, but happening forever. It was only 5 hours. Let's just calm down. The fire started at, I think, 5:15 a.m. and it was out by 10 o'clock that morning. So here's the fire right here. All right, so you see, there's the oil platform right there, and the gas leak happened right here, so it was a fire. And they put this fire out within 5 hours. It was done. But the way they're making it seem, the sea's on fire, all this and that. And then they want to talk about how, if you are an environmentalist, if you were somebody that cared about the environment, if you cared about the water, then you'd be against not only pipelines and fossil fuel, but also capitalism, because this is a result of capitalism, right? The fire in the water, that's capitalism. Well, first of all, that's just one shot of it. They're making it seem different than what it was. Let's go to the other shot. So here is how they're putting it out, just so we get the context, right? Yeah, fires do happen. Surprise, surprise, fires happen. Now, here is another view of it where they're putting it out. All right, no sound on this because it's unnecessary, but you can see them. Okay, they got the boats. They're surrounding it. They're putting the water on it. It seems kind of weird to put water on water, but that's just kind of how this is. It was a gas leak. You got a fire, and that's what they do right there to put it out. So within 5 hours, it was done. Now, someone is saying, well, you know what? This is capitalism. These companies need to be held accountable for this. This is like the Exxon Valdez, all this, that, and the third. However, this was caused by the Mexican company called Pemex, which is the Mexican government. Now, apparently, you guys, if I'm wrong, you please correct me. Apparently, Mexico nationalized its oil and gas. Apparently. So this company is Mexican government, Pemex, Pemex. I guess Petroleum Mexico. I'm not really sure, but I digress. So this, if anything, this here, let me put it back on the screen. If anything, this is a failure of government, not about private business. This was not a private thing. People are weird. Oh, capitalism. Chernobyl was also government because remember, this was in, I think, present day Ukraine and the USSR. This was, it was a failure of government. There's been quite a few failures of government that have resulted in accidents. This right here is no Chernobyl. Don't get it twisted. It's not a disaster. It's just a fire. Fires happen. But people want to look at it as a disaster. It's not. It's just a fire. But when disasters do happen, a lot of time you can point the finger at government. But accidents do happen, and that's just the nature of the beast. But to blame capitalism is ridiculous because, again, this was the government. And as are a lot of other disasters and a lot of failures all over the world. It's weird how people want to blame. Also, they want to talk about the pipelines. I'll get back to the whole thing about capitalism in a minute. They want to blame it. They want to blame the pipelines, talking about how these things are so terrible. And if we just eliminate the pipelines, then there won't be any more natural disasters. Well, I remember, because you guys know I'm from Virginia, right? I'm from Virginia, so I remember there was something that looked very similar to this that did not involve a pipeline. Now, if you guys know about Virginia, there's a large river called the James River that cuts throughout the entire state. It starts pretty much from east to west because Virginia's on the coast. So to the east is the ocean. Once you get out to like Chesapeake Bay, all of that, and beyond that, Eastern Shore, it's the ocean. So the James River starts there and goes all throughout the state. And there's all kind of tributaries and whatnot that provide drinking water. Now, there's also train tracks along the river because that's pretty common because the river has flat area or flat area right next to it because, you know, it's like a depression. It's an indentation. It's the river. So I remember watching this whole thing happen here. Matter of fact, let's put up a picture. Might be able to get a video, actually, if I can find one. Now, some of the train cars carrying oil, no pipeline involved, wound up crashing. So here's a picture of that inferno right there. This was in Virginia, and it might be kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So you see the big puff of smoke, right? The big ball of fire. And to the right of the picture, right behind that, you're able to see some water. That is the James River. So these oil tankers spilled, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of gallons, millions of gallons of oil right into the river. Right into the river. No pipeline. No, terrible pipeline. You see, with a pipeline, if it was, especially if it's on land, it's easier to manage because you could just probably patch up a hole or one area and keep it centralized like that. But with this train, I mean, you got all kind of moving parts happening. You got the tracks, the wheels, you got a little bit of everything happening. And they couldn't even really get to it because the fire was raging. Like an inferno, it was too hot to even get anywhere near. So they just let it sit there and let the oil go right into the river. So if you're against a pipeline, the oil still got to get there some kind of way. You know, if you enjoy having a nice warm house, if you enjoy having electricity, if you enjoy having these creature comforts, you're going to rely on oil at a certain point. Oil and gas. You need it. You have to have it. Oil, gas, coal, something. Even with your, you want to charge your electric car. The funniest thing I saw was when they told people in California recently that because they're trying to, conserve power, that they can't charge their electric cars. it defeats the whole purpose of having an electric car, because you wouldn't conserve, you wouldn't be environmentally friendly, right? With the electric car, you just plug it into your wall. People take how that electricity gets there for granted. They don't understand. You got nuclear, and you got to put nuclear waste somewhere. You got nuclear, you got coal, you got oil, you got these things that you must have. You got to have it. So this right here, this is what happens when an oil tanker that's on rail crashes right by a river. And like I said, the James River has drinking water that comes from it, because it goes throughout the entire state of Virginia. Like it kind of bisects it almost, pretty much. So it is what it is. But hey, it's funny to me how people think that capitalism is a thing that you don't really need anymore because of, some accidents that were caused not by capitalism, but probably by inefficient government. It is what it is. And speaking about inefficient governments, happy Independence Day, early Independence Day. We broke away from that government that wasn't serving us properly and served our own nation. July 4th, 1776. It's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of twists and turns and ups and downs, but we here. We're the best country on earth, and we ain't going nowhere. So enjoy your Independence Day weekend. Do you guys get off? Like, if you have like a corporate job or whatever, do you get off on Monday? Or is it just a weekend? Or is it Friday? How did that work? Because Independence Day falls on a Sunday. How does that really go? But regardless of what's going on, happy Independence Day. Enjoy your day, 4th of July. Don't let anybody try to bring you down. I'm seeing some people, some weird news from some of these, very young people, very young leftists talking about, oh, why are you going to celebrate Independence Day? Hey, enjoy your day. I think a lot of people are becoming anti-American because it's popular to do so. It's like a trend. It's like a TikTok challenge. People do, it's like the Tide Pod. Remember the whole Tide Pod challenge? People literally ate Tide Pods because it was something that was cool on the internet to do. It clearly states on the label, do not eat, do not consume. You would figure you need to kind of lock Tide Pods up in your house to keep them away from your little kids, right? If you got toddlers or whatever, and they have had candy before, and they know what candy looks like, is attractive to them, and they see this thing that could be some candy, it's colorful, they put it in their mouth, now they got to go to the hospital, right? So for them, you got to lock it up. But you have adults that were literally eating the Tide Pods as part of the challenge. It got so bad, they had to lock the Tide Pods up in the store. I remember going to Wally World, and they literally had Tide Pods behind the padlock. Glass, padlock, all of that. So people at a certain point can become sheep and just do whatever is trendy. And unfortunately, the hatred of America has become trendy. What I don't want it to do is become permanent. I don't think that eating Tide Pods has become a great American pastime. I think it was a phase, a trend that was popular that came and went. Hopefully the hatred of America will be the same way, but that's going to be a bigger battle to fight because you got all these weirdos and nut jobs fighting for that particular thing. But again, enjoy your Independence Day, barbecue, cookout, do whatever you want to do. I know you got your 16 cents you could save. You could buy you a whole nother grill for the 16 cents, can't you? Did you guys see that tweet? I did a video on that where the Biden administration, they're talking about the average meal for, like, the average cookout meal is 16 cents cheaper according to the Farm Bureau. First of all, that's not even true. Maybe for the items they selected, and I'm not really sure where they're getting the numbers from, because have you been to the grocery store lately? I know I have, and things are crazy expensive. I enjoy fish. I enjoy my wild-caught salmon. Love it. It's, one of my favorite things to eat. Great meal. Fish is great. Healthy for you. Nice, just nice, balanced food. Big fan of fish. That right there, trying to get some wild-caught salmon, if you can get it, it's very expensive. I've seen prices like almost have doubled in certain foods. Fish, beef, chicken. A lot of things have gone up in price. across the board, not to mention some of the big ticket items like a grill. They said the average grill costs $200 more today than it did this time last year. $200 more. Propane, expensive. Try to get a propane tank. Good luck with that. Propane's going up. Propane tank. Your grill's going up. The gas is going up. Because obviously, if your gas is going up by 42%, which is what it did at the pump, your propane is going to go up too. It's going to be a scarcity of the propane tanks. There's a whole lot going on. Try to get to the store in your car to get the food. It's going to cost you more. The grill costs you more. To fire up the grill, if you got a propane tank, that'll probably cost you more. Even if you got a charcoal grill, that might cost you some more as well. Your hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken wings, your ribs, steak, it's all going to cost more. So what are they talking about when they say that your average 4th of July meal has gone down by 16 cents? Why would you even promote that? If I'm to believe that, that's breaking even, really. 16 cents, what are you going to do with that? Try getting a gumball from the gumball machine. You still 9 cents short. You need to come up. You need to get some money together. And you can't even put, if you had 16 cents in your pocket, you need to go try to get some more money and then get a quarter to get the gumball. And what you going to do with that? You can't even really eat that. That's just like a piece of gum. You got to spit it out. You can't even really consume that for food. They're dumb. I don't know who had the bright idea to put that tweet out there. And if you've not seen that, let me put it on the screen right quick. And I feel like at a certain point, if some tweets get put out and they don't do well, you might as well go ahead and delete it. What's the point in keeping it up? Because at a certain point, it's just a joke. Here it is. Maybe I put it on the last show. I'm not really sure. So this is it right here. 16 cents. And then there's some slides in the GIF. Pork and beans. And it was funny because they had pork and beans listed first, right? And that was down by 13%. So that was the biggest decrease, pork and beans. And then ground beef down 8%. Is that true? Have you guys gotten ground beef lately? And then is it going to play here? What else we got? Ice cream down 5%. Center cut pork chops down 2%. Fresh squeezed lemonade down 2%. Sliced cheese down a whole 1%. And then it said potato chips down 1%. But nah, inflation is a real thing and everybody knows it. And a lot of that is caused by a few factors that are all coming together at once. You have the supply chain interruption caused by the virus. So it's harder to get certain things. But the biggest thing is the federal unemployment insurance bonus that they put on top of your regular unemployment insurance. Shout out to my governor here in the great state of Tennessee, Bill Lee, for ending the federal unemployment insurance today. Like right now, today is over with. So it's time to get a job, time to go back to work. I'm seeing some of these stories on from the left and their papers talking about, oh, it's cruel. He's ending the federal unemployment insurance. It's cruel. Why is it cruel? I mean, there's plenty of jobs out there. And you know, the funniest part is people say, oh, well, there's not a labor shortage. It's the jobs that don't pay enough. The jobs aren't good enough. Well, the jobs were just fine before the federal government came in and said, we're going to print trillions of dollars and give out to people for doing nothing. It was fine before that happened, but now all of a sudden it's not okay. It's not enough. I mean, come on. You got to get back to work. And it's unfair. People talking about, oh, well, the jobs don't pay enough. Like, according to who? And who are we comparing? What are we comparing the pay to? Are we comparing jobs by businesses to the federal government? Well, of course they don't pay enough. How can you defeat the money machine? How can you defeat the Federal Reserve Bank, federal government, whatever, printing money and giving it away for free? You can't compete with that. I mean, the money they're giving out is so much. It's the equivalent of like $20 to $25 an hour on a full-time week. So even if you have a nice paying job at like $15 an hour, $20 an hour even, you can't compete with the federal government because they pay more or the equivalent for doing nothing. What's the point? Now, personally, if I was in that situation, I still want to work because I understand that this won't last forever. And I don't want to be the one to get caught slipping, thinking that this is going to be lasting forever. I'll keep getting this money until perpetuity. And then one day it's gone. It decides something one day and then the money's gone. Now I'm like, how am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do? I try to go back out there and get my job, but now all the jobs are taken. So it's like, I'll keep on working. And quite frankly, if you're trying to find a job, or if you were trying to find one before this pandemic, right now is the best time to go out and get one because there's so many available and the jobs are paying more because they got to compete with the federal government. But trust and believe, them wages will go down. Or they're going down because there won't be any competition from the federal government and the money machine, which is almost impossible to do. I'm seeing leftists on my Insta, Facebook, Twitter, Snap feed talking about they want the federal money to go away because they can't hire anybody. Like regular normies and not even really involved in politics, but I know they're leftists. They're saying, all right, we got to stop this because we can't hire anybody. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Candy Stripe, everybody's saying the same thing. They're coming to the realization about what's going on. And this is, more Yuri Bezmenov. I keep referring to him because he outlined everything that's happening right now. And if you've not seen Yuri Bezmenov's lectures, speeches, or whatever, please do yourself a favor. Go look it up on YouTube. Yuri Bezmenov, Yuribezmenov, Yuri Bezmenov, former KGB. Look him up. But anyway, he was talking about how these things kind of go. So, where was I at? Oh, talking about federal government, talking about the competition. People don't know how these things are going to affect them until it happens. Until that boot hits their head, until they cannot hire employees, until something happens that really affects them directly, they're not going to affect it. What's the saying also is like, okay, I was a liberal and then I got mugged by conservatism or something like that. Something along those lines. You living in a false reality. You have this weird way of seeing the world that's not reality, and then reality strikes, and then you realize what's going on. And I think that's what's happening at the We Spa. Now, have you guys seen that story? I was going to do a video on it, but I was kind of late, so I didn't really do a video. But a lot of you guys have sent me this. I've seen all your emails, all your DMs, all your mentions and whatnot about the We Spa. And that's spelled W-I, Spa. This is in Los Angeles, California, on Wilshire. So right there in the mix. Now, the We Spa, they have a controversy going on because there's a man, he's a man who, quote unquote, identifies as a woman, and the guy is exposing himself to all the women and children on the woman side of the spa. When I say exposing, I'm talking about his twig and berries just doing whatever they want to do. Now, here's my question, right? Number one, it doesn't matter what you identify as. Why should you be allowed as a male to be over there with the women? That's first. But second, I don't care, even if you are over there with the women, right? That's bad enough. Why are you allowed to pull out your Johnson and just expose everybody to that? Little kids too. And there's a video floating around. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But there's a video of a woman, a black woman, and she was talking about how, no, this is not right. This is a man. This is a man doing this. It's not okay. It's not correct. Matter of fact, I have it. And one of you guys sent me this on Twitter. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you guys. I may not respond to all your emails, but I read everything because I'm getting tips from you guys about what's happening out there in the proverbial streets, right? So let me go ahead and try to find it here. But there's a few videos about the whole situation, and the central part of it is you have this man that identifies as a woman who's flashing himself, and the spa can't really do anything. Now, here's a flyer that they had for the protest today, and that protest was crazy. People got injured, guy got bloodied up because Antifa were out there, and they, of course, are defending the guy that was exposing himself to the women and the children, talking about he's trans. And they say, if you are against a biological man with his body parts exposing himself to children, I'm talking about little kids. If you're against that, that means you're a transphobe, right? So here's a flyer for the protest. You see what it says: We Spy Anti-Pedo Protest, Saturday, July 3rd, 11 a.m. This is on the West Coast, obviously in Los Angeles. So this We Spy, that's the address, 2700 Wilshire, LA. We Spy is allowing men who say they're women to use the women's spy and show their genitals to little girls. Women are being traumatized, and We Spy is promoting this sexual trauma. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Now, matter of fact, hold on here. I think there's an Instagram video, not of anything weird, but just of the confrontation that the person who was upset at this going on, this is what they were talking about with one of the employees. But you know what? It's not even necessarily the employee's fault, because it's the law out there in California to where you cannot discriminate against people that identify as a different gender. So let's say they don't allow this man to be in there. They might get in trouble. So it's like, what do you do? How do you handle it? This is what happens. This is the result of not voting for the right people. And you don't realize it until it's right in front of your face, literally. And I mean that, pun intended, right? So here's some of the video. I'm going to play the whole thing. Maybe I'll put it somewhere in the box, or I'll put the link in the chat box so you guys can see it. And follow the woman that put the video out to begin with.
Breaking the surface as crews work to
He is
get
a man. I don't care. So men can just say,
this is from an underwater
I'm a
gas
woman today, and I
pipeline.
want to come in.
Mexico State
and
Gas
I want.
Company
No,
says
I'm recording this. I am going to record this because I'm going to make a big deal. I'm going to take this very worldwide and what's happening because right. And then what about women's rights?
No.
Little girls, grown.
And now we can't shower. We can't go down there to shower. We can't go get our clothes.
If you feel uncomfortable about it, we can provide you a recording.
Oh, so now we have to leave.
If you feel uncomfortable, because we cannot discriminate against gender
How?
identity.
But then why do you have men's section and women's section?
Gender identity, if they identify as female, they let us know.
Tell me what makes you a female. Exactly.
I
See,
understand that.
no,
I understand that.
no, we're not going for that.
Ma'am, what I can tell you, I work here. I'm letting you know. We cannot discriminate against gender identity.
Okay, so if I want to go on the boy side and say I'm a boy, it's okay.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead a little bit because I think one person came out and said something that I really want you guys to hear.
Getting into the jacuzzi
Yes.
this close.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
and
pervert.
As a 9-year-old, that's not okay with me.
It's not
and
okay with
I'm getting a 30-year-old man with a penis and testicles
Yes.
is getting into the jacuzzi
Yes.
this close.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
and
pervert.
As a 9-year-old, that's not okay with me.
It's not okay
and
with
I
me.
will protect
Yes.
little girls until
Yes.
my last breath.
Yes.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus'
so
name.
You cannot have me out here saying that I'm the one causing an inconvenience.
Exactly.
That is a little girl. And it's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. And now I can't even go and put my clothes on because he's down there.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. We don't feel comfortable.
Doesn't do anything to
His dick is out.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
his dick is slinging left and right, and we're women in there, and young girls are there. And it says women. That's the women's section. There's the men's.
So that's that. I'll place this video in the chat box so you guys can see it. And the Instagram handle, this is the woman that put the video out. It's public video, so you guys can see it. It's Cuban Angel, and that's or Cubana Angel. So after Cuban, there's 2 A's. So Cubana Angel. And I'll place this again in the chat box. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. So is that what you want to see? I don't care about nobody calling themselves whatever they want. You can identify as Thomas the Tank Engine. You can identify as a bad day. You can identify as a piece of lumber that's left in the yard that can nobody pick. You can identify as a rotten strawberry. I don't care what you identify as. This is simply not right. And guess who were out there defending this? Antifa, of course. They're out there defending it. So what's the message that Antifa are sending? Hey, if you are against adult males exposing themselves to little kids, to girls especially, that means you're a bigot. So this is why we talk about Antifa and a lot over here, because it's simply just not right. Period. It's not right. But hey, it is what it is. Now, the business owner is not even their fault because, again, this is law in California. First, you cannot discriminate against people that are transgender. So, you know, the whole thing about the bathrooms and stuff like that, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people may not even really see it. This is why when Trump was talking about, oh, if you're trans, you can use the bathroom of your choice. You know, I'm a big Trump fan, don't get it twisted, but I did not agree with that because I knew that that would come to this. I'm not trying to blame Trump, obviously. This is California's law that they have on the books. But when you allow people to just use the bathroom of their choice, okay, how about a locker room? How about a spa? How about in public? And why not? And then as far as indecent exposure, that's been decriminalized in Los Angeles or in California. That's not really a crime anymore. And if I'm wrong about that, you guys in California, let me know in the comments. So you can't get her for throwing this thing around in front of little kids, apparently, allegedly, or if you do get him, it won't even be really a crime. And you can't discriminate because he is LGBT or transgender or whatever. And here we are. Here we are. Can they go to the spa and have a nice girls' night out without this dude coming in there ruining things? Now, here's what I want to show you guys. I have the guy's picture, and it's not of him doing anything weird. It's just of his face. But you're going to see how crazy these morons are. Let me try to put this picture up right quick. Give me 1 second, and I'll get right to it. And thank y'all again for being here. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. All right, so here he is. Yeah, RSBN got a strike because they were showing Trump rallies. But I told you guys that would happen because some of you guys were saying, hey, ABL, why aren't you showing the rally? I was like, well, they're going to give out a strike because I'm showing the rally. I knew that would happen, and you saw it, of course. But, you know, the thing about YouTube, they don't communicate directly. Usually they communicate indirectly. You got to kind of know how to maneuver on YouTube. So that's why I just do what I do. And I don't put all my eggs into the YouTube basket. I have my BitChute account so I can put whatever I want over there. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm wherever I can be. You know, trying to do more public speaking engagements because they can't stop me from speaking in public. They can't stop my BitChute. So I'll just be everywhere getting the messages out. Regardless of where I am, they can't. It's like playing whack-a-mole, like Jericho Green say. They get me over here, I'm over there. Over here, I'm over there. That's kind of how I do it. But anyway, so here's a picture of the suspect in the, spa kerfuffle. This is a so-called transgender woman. Now, imagine this person. Imagine this cat. This is biological male. Imagine this person in the spa with you, swinging this thing around. This is dangerous. This is scary, right? And you can't do anything about it. So it's like, what are we really doing here? This person should be arrested. This person should not be allowed to do whatever he wants to do. But of course, he is, right? And of course, you see the Antifa garb. So what are we really doing? What's going on? And people on the right are labeled as what they say, we're conspiracy theorists talking about Antifa. Oh, Antifa, it only means anti-fascist. It doesn't mean any kind of real group. These people aren't a threat. They're not really a threat. I can't tell. They appear to be very much so a threat to me.
Hey, there we go.
And they burn the flag, of course, but we don't want to see that because this is Independence Day weekend. It's all about positivity. It's all about celebrating our nation, not destroying the nation, or at least attempting to, like this cat is right here. But you know what? One thing, I don't see these kind of guys over, like, where I live. They're not going to do it. They're talking about coming to the suburbs. I wish you would. Everybody in my neighborhood is armed, period. Allegedly. That's what I think. But you know what? I take that back. We all went out on the boat, right? It was a great trip, right on the river. Everybody's having a good time fishing. And then we had all of our guns on the boat, and there was a tragic boating accident. I don't know if it was a piece of lumber or a rock or inclement weather, whatever the case may be. The boat capsized. It was a mess. Dogs were screaming, yelling, barking, crying. It was crazy, but everybody survived. But all the guns sunk straight to the bottom. They were destroyed, and they won't be able to be recovered because we can't get anybody out to go dredge the river because it was kind of deep where it fell. It fell onto a ridge and then fell more into the earth, so they're gone forever. So we lost all of our guns in a tragic boating accident, right? However, some people have not had a tragic boating accident, and they are not going to let you just come into the neighborhood and do whatever, all right? So you could do that in Los Angeles because people like that are supported. They're supported by the laws out there. And there was a protest today where Antifa and street preachers and whatnot were having dueling protests. Okay, so the street preachers and whatnot were out there to protest against men exposing themselves to children, right? That was their protest. Now, Antifa wants men to be able to expose themselves to whoever they want. So that was a protest. And Antifa were out there being very violent, attacking the other side. They were attacking the street preachers. Guys wound up bloody. It was crazy. Do I have anything of that? Do I have any pictures of that? I think I have some pictures of that, but I'm not really sure. So this is it right here. Here's some pictures of the attack. I won't play too much of it because we don't want to see too much of that. Sorry for the cursing. It's not my fault. I blame the white man. Matter of fact, I'm turning the sound off so we don't hear no cursing. So, man right here is on a Trust Jesus shirt, and he's being pummeled by a bunch of people that are wearing all black and a little bit of everything else. No police anywhere. No police, right? So it's like, what are we really doing? This is why police are needed. Because obviously people that are out there don't have a real handle on the situation as far as security is concerned. The police are your last bastion of hope. They're your defense. This is broad daylight. You got this big fight happening. People are getting pummeled, kicked on the ground, bloodied up. No police anywhere in sight. Walking on the street, traffic is trying to pass them, but they can't really because they're just aimlessly walking. Where's the security? Where's the law and order at? Now, it's weird because, well, it's not weird. It's something that it was probably done intentionally. The same people that say, defund the police, no police, all this and that and the third, they'll be the ones that are out there engaging in crime and the violence. They don't want the police because they want to commit crime and get away with it. They want to do whatever they want to do and have that be that. And we see the results of it. And unsuspecting normies go along with it. Say, yeah, that's the right thing to do. Defund the police. We're over-policing our neighborhoods. And the criminals have been waiting for this. It's like, finally, less police or no more police. Now I'm able to just sell my crack, my meth, and my heroin and beat up old men without going to the penitentiary for it. And then they want certain little things decriminalized. Oh, let's legalize all the drugs and stuff like that so they can be on the street aggressively panhandling, maybe even robbing you to get their drugs, and they can get paid from the city and state to be out there as a homeless crackhead bum, right there on the beach, living a life. That's California, and this is why they're losing seats in the House. This is why they're losing population. This is why I'm seeing all these California plates, all up in Tennessee, all up in Georgia, because they're trying to escape. They're trying to go all the way across country to escape that environment, that hellscape, if you will. All right. So what else we have got happening here? Oh, we got to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, did I speak on her last time? I don't think I did speak on her last time. But that whole situation is crazy. Now, if you don't know, I'm talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, 21-year-old track star. Great performer from what I've been able to see. I saw her run a race. I think the race I saw, she was tested right after that and failed the test. and positive for marijuana. But in the race I saw her run, she came in first, had a great time of like 10.8, really good time in 100-meter dash. Really good time, beat everybody else. Had a slow start, but a great finish. Put on the afterburners and was able to go ahead and get her done, right? So, like I said, she was tested after this race and positive for weed. Now, she has been suspended for 30 days. This has created all types of all type of reaction on the internet. Everybody is saying different things. Some are trying to bring up Michael Phelps because they say Michael Phelps, he smoked weed. He was able to compete. This is racist. They're trying to target black and brown people because marijuana laws affect black and brown folks the most. It's like, wait a minute. What are we talking about? First of all, this is not a matter of legality because anybody going to jail, anybody getting brought up on charges, nobody's saying she needs to go to the penitentiary or to jail or to pay a fine or anything like that. This is only about the Olympics, and it's the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, not really about the U.S. The U.S. is involved, but it's also about the IOC. They have to work with the IOC and understand this. You're talking about the Olympics, you're talking about the whole world for the Olympics, not just the U.S. But try to go to Dubai with anything resembling weed, you're going to the penitentiary immediately. There's this rapper named Future. If you know, you know. But his DJ named DJ Esco went to Dubai. And he had come from somewhere. I think he was in Netherlands or somewhere. Amsterdam, where it's all kind of drugs and stuff legal. But anyway, I think he had some weed on him at one point. But he didn't have a whole lot of weed on him at the time he went to Dubai. It was a little bit. It was such a small amount that people were digging in this bag trying to see if the flakes of whatever kind of leaf they found were green or brown. I'm talking about like a little bit. That much right there. That was enough for him to be locked up for almost 3 months in the Dubai jail. And you're talking about when you were in Dubai going to the tourist spots, it's all swank and nice and whatnot. It's 1,000 degrees. It's super hot. You need to wear a headscarf if you're a woman or whatever. But hey, everything's super nice. There's a lot of money out there. But try going to a Dubai jail. Now you're in third world. Now you're dealing with, you're in jail with some guys from the Taliban, with some like Nigerian guys that just came from Nigeria recently, some real criminals. You in there with them. So he was in there for some months. You're talking to the U.S. consulate. They can't do nothing for him. It took him months to get out of jail for flakes. I'm talking about next to nothing. You can't even really, magnifying glass. So you're dealing with the IOC and you're dealing with countries where you can't do certain things, right? Keep it in context. Anyway, she was suspended for 30 days. Now, if she was to pop positive for weed before the Olympics, like let's say she did her thing back in March and she popped positive on March 28th, or they suspended her on March 28th, she'd be done with the suspension on April 28th. It'd be no problem. She can go to all the preliminary events, all the qualifying events in the Olympics, and it would be good. She's not banned from the Olympics. People kind of got it twisted. You can get banned from the Olympics. There's one girl that had an abortion and skipped her doping test, and she's been banned for 5 years. That was a whole crazy story right there. So I digress. Priorities, right? Abortion Olympics. Abortion. Anyway, she got a 5-year ban for not only missing her doping test, but also like falsifying documents from the doctor. It was a whole story. She got a 5-year ban. Now, Sha'Carri only has a 30-day suspension. After it's up, she can go back and still run and perform. Now, the suspension is up on July 28th. The Olympics start July 23rd and end August 8th. So if any of her events fall within the 5-day window where the Olympics start and she's still suspended, then she can't perform. I think there is one race that happens and she can't perform in that. However, she can perform after that in another race. It might have been the hurdles. I'm not really sure what it is. but she can still perform. She's not banned from the Olympics. Now, Michael Phelps, he had a 3-month suspension, and he did not pop positive. Anytime he was tested, it came up negative. He was suspended for a picture. Remember when Michael Phelps got caught on the internet ripping the bong? And if I could find that, I'll place it on the screen before you. I don't promote any kind of drug use. Obviously, I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't even drink coffee. That's not my wave, but I'm just saying this is what he did. So let's put that on the screen. So for this picture right here, let's put it up right quick. So for this picture, that was enough to get him suspended. He did not test positive for weed ever. This picture went viral on the internet, and his sponsor dropped him. I think it was Kellogg. His sponsor dropped him, and they got a 3-month suspension from competing. But the suspension time, it was timed perfectly to where it did not interfere with his actual competition. He was still able to do whatever he had to do after the suspension. You see what I'm saying? So it was all about timing. People want to say Michael Phelps was given, a slap on the wrist compared to Richardson. No, he actually got a tougher penalty. He did not pop positive, never did. As a matter of fact, when he was off the suspension and went back to competition, he was tested like 13 times. A crazy amount of times he was tested because of all the attention that he brought to the whole situation of drugs and whatnot. And he never popped positive. He was always clean on every test. So if she was to be given the same treatment that he got, she would get 3 months, lose a sponsor. And if she got that, she'd be done with the Olympics totally. She could not come back and run in any races during the Olympics this year. And Nike, they're standing beside her. They're going to be strong. So she's not lost anything, just 30 days. And she admitted that she did it. It's her fault. I apologize. All right. So she's not saying, I shouldn't have been suspended. It's not right. What about the white man? He did X, Y, and Z. No, I did it. It's my fault. I apologize. Now, the reason, some may say it's an excuse. Some may say it's a reason or whatever. But I understand it because I've been there where she's at, right? She said her biological mother had passed away. And that's the reason why she hit the weed to try and, deal with it and try and calm that pain. That's not the right thing to do, in my humble opinion, because when you're dealing with trauma, when you're dealing with any kind of traumatic event like that, you don't want to go to drugs or alcohol because you're not actually dealing with the problem. You're suppressing it for a moment. And if you never are able to deal with it and you're always trying to suppress it, at a certain point, the alcohol ain't going to be strong enough. The weed ain't going to be strong enough. So now it's like, all right, I've become accustomed to dealing with my trauma with drugs. So how do I go further? How do I really just push it all the way down? You're going to drink more, smoke more, ain't doing nothing. I said in my video, I've been to rehab before. Not me. I'm not a drug user. Never have been a fiend or nothing like that. Like I say, I don't do drugs, not even no alcohol, no coffee, nothing like that. My drug I do is sugar. Give me a honey bun and I'm good to go. But anyway, I digress. I was there because a family member was there, right? I took him up there to an inpatient facility. And I spoke to guys that were there, and they were telling me why they were there. And almost everybody had the same story or a similar story. Some kind of event happened in their life, whether it was something happened to them when they were a child, they were touched inappropriately. But one guy, his daughter got murdered. And he said when his daughter got murdered, he couldn't really deal with it. So he was just drinking and smoking the same way he had been as a kid or in his adult life. And it just wasn't working. So then it's like, okay, what can I do to get beyond this pain? Your daughter getting murdered. How do you deal with that, right? That's a really tough thing to deal with. So then they went to crack, meth, heroin. Whatever he could do, he did to try and get beyond it. It didn't work. Now he's a full-blown dope fiend, lost everything. Now he's in rehab trying to get his life back. So you don't want to go down the route of drugs to deal with trauma. That's just my opinion. To anybody out there listening, like I said in my previous video, I would not do it that way. Speak to somebody, talk to somebody, let it out, get it out, but don't get to drugs. And if you go to a therapist or a doctor and they're saying, oh, here's an opiate, take that. Here's Zoloft. Here's a Lazopam or whatever kind of anxiety medication. Don't do it because that's the same thing as, smoking crack, in my humble opinion. But I digress. The point is that she smoked a weed because her biological mother had died and she was trying to deal with it. And the reason why I say biological is because I think she was raised by her grandmother and her aunt, not her mother. But still, that's her mother. She died. It was stressful. That's the reason. Now, she owned up to it, and I'm rooting for her, really. Hopefully, she's able to get beyond what's going on with her mother. She's able to deal with that trauma and keep on pushing. That's my hope for her. And what I don't like is those making excuses for her, talking about, oh, well, it's just weed, all this. Okay, so what? You know what? The rules may be messed up. Maybe so. But, I mean, what are we going to do? The rules could be hypocritical as well because they say that you could be biological male and compete against biological women if you identify as a woman, right? Like the weightlifter. I forget the person's name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You have a biological male that competed as a male in weightlifting for like 15 years and then became a woman and started winning. When they were a man, they were not winning at all. They had no medals, no accomplishments, nothing. They were like a hobbyist, really. And then when they became a quote unquote woman, all of a sudden, gold medal, bronze medal, silver medal. Because as a man, your body is different than a woman. You could be on testosterone or estrogen or whatever to reduce your levels, but that's nothing to do with your physical actual body, with your bone structure and your head size and your hand size and things of that nature. Your lower body, upper body is just different if you're a male. So that's wrong. That should be eliminated. And I think we should be trying to maybe lobby to get these rules changed. But about the weed also, it's not just about the weed and the whole legal, illegal thing. They say it also could be a masking agent. And the masking agent is a drug you take to hide other drugs you may take, like performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, testosterone, etc. Maybe that's true, maybe that's false, but that's what I'm reading. I'm seeing some that say it's not a masking agent. Some say it is a masking agent. I'm not really sure who to believe. But it's deeper than just, weed being bad, drugs are bad. It's deeper than that because, again, it ain't just about us in the U.S. because this is the Olympics. This is a worldwide thing. So put it into consideration, just put it like that and look at it that way rather than just seeing it from your point of view as an American citizen, right? Time Master J says, wide shoulders and a 24-inch chin, hilarious. And them chins be humongous, don't they? I mean, good grief. You're talking about Blockhead, Center Block, Lego World, good night. Like this, man. You're talking about a whole refrigerator, a whole ice box for a jawline. It's crazy, but I digress. Thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And what else we got going on here? There's quite a few things happening. Did I get everything? Wow, it's already almost 9 o'clock. The time's flying. The time is flying. Chicago mayor, that's the funniest thing in the world. Did you guys see Lori Lightfoot talking about the reason why she's being criticized is because she's a black female? Meanwhile, there was an argument that went viral between her and a black female. So it's like, okay, so I thought that you couldn't be a racist if you are a black. That's what the left says, right? That's what Lori Lightfoot would say, that if you're black, you can't be racist because you don't have power. Not sure where that definition came from, who made that up. That's like Urban Dictionary right there, right? But I digress. Hold on, let me see. What's the lady's name? You got Lori Lightfoot. Okay, yeah, so this picture right here, this picture is pretty much gone viral. So in this little kerfuffle here, who's the racist? Are we going to call this black lady right here, she's the racist? I mean, obviously they're having an argument right here about something. And you know what? It appears like the heftier lady in the multicolors, it looks like she is the aggressor, right? Kind of big, like she hit her one time in the jaw, it's gonna be night night. You understand what I'm saying? Just one, it's gonna be a done deal. You're talking about Snoozeville, right? That's how it looks. But allegedly, Lori Lightfoot, the lady in the Men's Warehouse suit, pulled the young lady in the multicolors to the side to address her, and she was the aggressor upon her. Now, maybe she didn't like that too much and, gave her a few choice words, and that's how this picture came to be, right? But if it's about racism and sexism, I see two black women right here having to fight. So what are you talking about, Lori Lightfoot? Maybe the reason why you're being criticized is because you're doing a bad job in Chicago. The crime's out of control. The city, people in the city think you're not doing what you said you were going to do. You made campaign promises, not fulfilling them. You want to protect your house with police, but how about the areas that actually need them? Like what's really going on? It's a whole lot happening in Chicago that is not going right. And she said that her predecessors did not get criticized, and the reason why she is because she's black. It's like, please, Rod Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois, who was a big-time Chicago guy from Chicago, heavily involved in Chicago politics, went to the penitentiary. He got locked up. So we're talking about being criticized. How about going to the joint and having to get pardoned by President Trump after 8 years in the joint, right? You're in the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks, on the yard, lifting weights like you are in California. 8 years in jail, in penitentiary. Rahm Emanuel, these guys heavily criticized. And Chicago, as is Illinois, is known for being corrupt, widely corrupt. It's a fact of life. So how do you get known for being corrupt without being criticized? That means her predecessors had been criticized for, guess what, being corrupt. Blagojevich went to jail for being corrupt. I mean, come on. This is her trying to deflect. This is why she also does not want to have any whites interview her, because she feels like she'd be able to get a better interview from a black person or a so-called person of color. She wants a non-white to interview her because she feels like they'll be on her side. They'll be able to be more favorable towards her. And the funny part is that she only wants certain non-whites to do it because, let's just say it's me. Let's say it's ABL that says, you know what, I'll interview you, Miss Lightfoot. Right here on my channel, we can do it from Zoom, Skype, whatever you want. Over the phone is fine. And she wouldn't want to do that because she wants a favorable interview. She wants the media to treat her nice. And it's funny how these leftists are now attacking the media, but they say we attack the media on the right. It's like, no, the media have been a problem for a very long time. Not only in the States, but all over the world. The media are an issue because sometimes they spread misinformation. It is what it is. And sometimes it's independent media, but sometimes it's like, I guess you would call it state-run media doing it. Go to North Korea, you're not going to have independent media. You're going to have Kim Jong-un sitting there on a horse trotting through some random place in North Korea. And you see that all day, nothing else. You don't see all the food insecurity news. You don't see all the bad political things going on. You don't see all that stuff happening. You don't see when somebody gets assassinated that Kim Jong-un did not like. You don't see that part. All you see is what he wants you to see. So the media can be used as a tool of, they can be weaponized and be used in a negative way, or they can be good. Either way it goes, I think Lori Lightfoot does not like them too much. And that's what the whole thing is about. Just vanity because you're not doing a good job and you don't want anybody to know. But at a certain point, the media could go away. You can get all these black and brown folks to give you glowing interviews, glowing reviews. But Chicago is still Chicago at the end of the day. Them bullets ain't going to just sit down because you made a fuss at this lady and you said that it's about racism. That's the reason why you're being criticized. Them bullets going to fly. Them bullets are going to fly. Matter of fact, the police chief, black man, who was in Houston, by the way. He was a police chief back when the officers got shot in the BLM rally in 2015. I covered that event when it happened. 2015 to 2014. You guys know what I'm talking about. Michael Xavier Johnson. Remember that guy? The black identity extremist. Different story, I digress. But he was the police chief back then in Texas, in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. Now he's up there in Chicago. And he's saying right now that, hey, mandatory overtime, you know what it is. 4th of July weekend is going to be a mess. We need to be out there to do what we can. You can't stop every person from getting shot and killed, but do what you can. All right? So they know what it is. That is the most important thing to be worried about is the welfare of the city, not how you look publicly. And matter of fact, if you want to look better publicly, Ms. Lightfoot, how about do a better job in your job? Perform better in your role as a mayor, and then you'll be able to get more favorable coverage. It's really simple. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. And we got super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those right quick, and then we're going to get to the calls in a little bit. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll get to the calls in a few. Y'all just hang tight. I will get right on it. Was it Dallas? Thank you, Santo Bartez. Yeah, that's what I thought it was, in Dallas. That's where you had the, I think it was 4 or 5 officers that were shot and killed by Michael Xavier Johnson, and then they went ahead and killed him. Yeah, and then the police chief got on TV and said a few words. I'm a fan of his. You guys know his name. I forgot it. I think it's David something. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Great chief. I think he had retired in Dallas and then went to Chicago after he retired, like a year or so later. All right, and let's see here. Where we at? Okay, let me go over here to the other page and find a super chat. So I'll read those right quick, and then we get to the calls. And if you guys are having a hard time calling in once I open the calls in a moment, keep on calling because that's just the nature of it. It's going to be kind of hard to get in. It's a troll deterrent. If you're a troll and you call in 45 times, then you just, kind of a loser. But anyway, shout out to Max Dominguez who says, just bought one of those slick USA hats you've been wearing lately. Now I can look A1 for the 4th. Happy 4th to you and the fam. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. And shout out to Chevy for your donation right there. I see you, boss, right there on the screen. Thank you to Apu Bakr, All Puff Daddy, who says, this is a 3-part super chat. I'll read it right quick. To the Logan family, on the 4th of July, I'd like to wish you all a happy Independence Day and a summer filled with freedom, faith, family, friends, and fun. Also, Anthony is an awesome person and an excellent role model. He forbids us from using naughty words because he knows children watch his program. Also, Anthony is all class, sharp, and humorous, too. Thank you for raising such an outstanding young man. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you. Also, rest in peace, Sequoia Turner, July 4th, 2020. Rest in peace, Jessica Whitaker, July 5th, 2020, for saying all lives matter. Also, Apu Bakr says, shout out to the NSA interns monitoring ABL Live. Yeah. Hey, shout out to all the NSA interns. Shout out to the FBI. Hey, how's everything? You guys are great. Okay, fantastic. Thank you to Matthew Phillips who says, 1 minute late. Dang. It's the white man, Carter Prez of DC. Shout out of Kyle Dunnigan's hilarious Biden Bel Air parody. I gotta see what you're talking about there. Kyle Dunnigan. I've not seen the Biden Bel Air parody yet. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh who says, I do know what to do with the holiday savings, so I will just add it to my usual super chat. I got 516. Thank you for the 16 extra. I appreciate you for that one, boss. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out and buy me a whole new house, right? Thank you for that. Thank you to Vanessa who says, receive my USA cap and will wear it proudly here, yes, in El Paso, Texas, not Ellis Paso. Thank you for that. And shout out to El Paso. Hey, that's a beautiful place. Love El Paso. I want to go back. I was there a few years back doing a speaking engagement. Loved it. Thank you to Apu Bakr who says, 1998 Nagano, Japan Winter Olympics, snowboarding Canadian Ross Rebel Glady won gold with weed in them. Free Sha'Carri Richardson. Thank you to Matthew who says, I messed up my Olympic life because I got high. I tested positive for THC because I got high. Now I lost my chance at gold, and I know why. I just figured out what you were doing as far as the Afro Man song at the very end. So sorry I didn't sing it, but hey, it's not my fault. Blame the white man for that. Apple says, ABL, you team Biden or team Kamala? For whom we cheer? I'm team neither one. How about that? Also, final for Euro Soccer, Italy, Spain, Denmark, England. I break it down for you. Super Mario and Pizza versus Zorro and Paella. While Lego and Breakfast Danish versus the Beatles and Fish and Chips. Who do you like? Let's get the Mario and Pizza. How about that? Let's do it. Also, thank you to Tina who says, Happy Independence Day, America. Let us pray we can keep it. There you go. Thank you for that. Thank you to Tate who said Happy 4th of July. ABL, thank you for that. Thank you to Durner1804 who says environmentalists want to chop up all the birds with wind turbines and chop down the forest to put down solar panels. Conservationists want to preserve our beautiful country. There you go. Exactly. People don't understand that these wind turbines and solar panels are very invasive and destructive. And you can't even recycle the wind turbines. Once these blades go bad, you just kind of toss them in the dump and they don't decompose. It's a mess. It's a big mess. I think it's One Hope who says, for everyone who understands the reward far outweighs the risk, Happy Independence Day. Have a great show, ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And also, I remember when the wind turbine blades froze in Texas. That was a mess. But I digress. Thank you to Raina who says, I don't know about you, but I'm going to invest my 16 cents. As for the rest of you all, don't spend it all in one place. Thank you to Jen Lynn with the wrecked emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to One Hope who says, P.S. Lori Lightfoot can kick rocks in her open-toe Birkenstocks. Thank you to the anti-view who said, people upset weed causes suspension, yet only 5 countries allow weed legally, and then 205 countries that participate in the Olympics. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is an international thing. It's not just about the U.S. Try going to Dubai with a speck of weed in your bag. Like, not even on your person. Like, it could have just fell in there by accident just because a speck of weed, months in the penitentiary, and you got to lobby different countries to get out. It was crazy. Apple Barker says, Dub Ripley wants Yuri was right t-shirt. I need to get that. I need to get on that. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to screenshot that right quick so I don't forget, or I'll try not to forget. Matthew says, what about women's rights? It's a joke. Women and girls placed at the bottom of for men again. It has to happen because they voted for it. That's what I'm saying. You know, people vote for certain things and they don't realize what they vote for until it happens. Until something negative happens, until something bad happens, they don't realize what's going on. Then they see. Once the twig and berries are swinging, it's like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on, right? But I digress. Apple says 1-6 MAGA are being abused by prison guards. Shame. Also, defund the FBI. FBI are abusive Democrat. Stasi and Boston police arrest militia. Rise of the Moors. Yeah, the rise of the. I don't know what they were doing. So the rise of the Moors. If you guys didn't see that, there was like a standoff on the interstate in like by Boston, Massachusetts. I have no idea what they were doing. Apparently, they were on an interstate, parked, and when the police rolled up on them, they hopped out and they were full tactical, armed, and the whole thing. Like 11 of them. So it was like, okay, what are you doing here? What's going on? And then they all got arrested. So I don't understand what they were really trying to do. It's like, why are you hopping out fully armed, tactical? What's happening in the middle of the night? What are you even doing? I don't know what's going on with that, but they say that they're not black identity extremists. They're not anti-government. They're not sovereign citizens. But everything that they were talking about sounds just like sovereign citizens, BIEs, and everything else. Anti-government. We're not U.S. citizens. We're part of a foreign nation. It's like, all right, yeah, go to jail. Get out of here. But I don't know what they were really trying to do, what they were trying to accomplish by being out there on the interstate, like on I-95, blocking it. What are you doing? And thank you to Byron 8899 who says, what are your thoughts on gun owners required to pay gun fees and get liability insurance? This is happening in Silicon Valley, California, after mass shooting. Now, what is a gun fee? What does that actually even mean? And liability insurance, what that means to me is that only the rich will be able to have guns, or those that got a lot of money. It's like you're making it prohibitive for poor people to be able to arm themselves. That's what it looks like to me. So if they're trying to make it to where they're having gun control, all you're doing is just prohibiting people that don't have a lot of money from being able to legally arm themselves. What's the point? What are we even doing? But California, in many parts, is lost. Bay Area, like Tech Valley, LA, it's a wrap. Some parts are still cool. I think the best bet is if you live in California, leave. And if you want to save California, the best bet is to break it up. It's too big. Too many different regions and parts that don't, okay, you got northern, central, southern. They don't really all the way mesh with each other. I say break it up. But then that'd be a different problem because now you're talking about more senators and that could be more Democratic control. I don't know. It's a mess over there. I would leave. I would go visit just to hang out, beautiful place, but I couldn't live there. It's just too much going on. All right. Let me see. Did I get everything? Thank you to Rob Rolling Smoke for the donation. Thank you to Corpses All Over 1369 who says, big fan, I was watching when I can. Thank you for that. Corpses All Over, I appreciate you. Thank you to Noel Garcia for the few super chats here who says, I decided to donate my 32 years of cookout savings to you, ABL. Hope your cookout is lit. Happy 4th. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Also, I got to wear my bulletproof vest helmet tonight at 12 a.m. Don't worry. It's a Florida thing, but I digress. Hey, I know what time it is, because you're hearing some of these funny fireworks, right? Gunshots going off, and you're not trying to have the bullet come down and, hit you in the head and do something to you. I understand. I sure do. Thank you to Orlando who says, it's been a while, ABL. People who say that the U.S. is oppressive should read up on Myanmar. Oh, there you go. Thank you to Subway Jack 919 who says, thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. You're giving a lot of people hope out here. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to God's Will who says, not sure if you saw or know about it, but what do you make of Biden speaking to Pelosi saying something to the effect of, don't move anything until chatter is possible false flag is in the works tomorrow. Stay vigilant and God bless. I don't put anything past anyone at this particular point in time. They're going to do a false flag. It's to the point now when I see anything happen, I presume that it might be false. It might be fake right away because there's so much stuff happening, so many things coming out. The FBI is involved with certain things. Remember, I didn't do a video about it, but I spoke about it before. Remember the whole thing about Gretchen Whitmer and the whole kidnapping plot, the alleged kidnapping plot? Well, I think there were 4 guys involved with that, right? 4 guys. 2 of the 4 guys were FBI. One guy was a full-on FBI officer, right? Badge, rank, training, academy, the whole 9. The other one was a snitch, an informant. So it's like, all right, any kind of little group like that comes out, I'm going to think right away, FBI, CIA, it's been infiltrated straight off. Gloria Steinem, the feminist, was a CIA operative. Did you know that? Gloria Steinem, the matter of fact, let's put it on the screen right quick. So all this feminism and no armpit shaving and stuff like that, this was a CIA operative. Here's a picture right here. Can we find the original one? They got all these parodies. This ain't even really what I'm looking for. Here we go. There we go. Let's show it. So the lady right there, the white lady right here. Yeah. CIA operative. So all this feminist and woke, all this and that. Come on, man. I don't believe any of it. It's all phony. All phony. So when you see a January 6th, when you see some of these other events happen, right away you got to think, what is this? What am I really seeing? Is this genuine? Is this like some kind of grassroots event? Is it a natural thing that's happened, or am I being deceived? Is there more to this story? Do we have snitches? Do we have operatives? Do we have agents? What's going on? And there's documents to prove it. I'm not making it up. There's a whole book about it. There's books, documents, paperwork, all of that. She was a CIA operative. Now, there may be some discussion about whether she was in the CIA doing this whole thing right here purposefully, but if you get to this high level and you're famous and you're also a CIA operative, I presume that being in the CIA has something to do with it, right? That's what I presume. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys think differently, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you got to say. But Gloria, look her up. Gloria Steinem, CIA. All right. Is it more to the story? Oh, I know it is. You guys are very smart. You guys are very, very smart. You know more than I do. So I'm giving you just the ground floor. I'm giving you a little truth nugget. That's what I do. So anybody listening to me that might be kind of on the left and not really knowing what's going on, I put something out there and say, hey, do your research. And they kind of get their mind blown because they find a lot of things they didn't think they would find. They kind of just, there may be a red pill moment in that discovery process. You understand? All right. But I digress. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Did I get everybody? Let's get some more right here. Thank you to Blank Space who says, I'm a feminine lesbian and I agree with 99.9% of what you say, ABL. Only two genders. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, Blank Space. Thank you. Thank you to Lauren S. who says, maybe common sense will trend one day. And also thank you to Tasha who says, immigrant wishing happy 4th today. Black neighbors flying red, white, and blue flags. And street already signing off for the 4th. We all Americans. That's right. 1,000%. Absolutely. All right. And you guys are the best audience anywhere in the world. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me start with my Skype right quick if it wants to act right. If it doesn't, it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man for that. There's also an email to get in on Skype if you want to do video. The email is in the description box below. Check it out. Add me on there. You can go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Let's get to the first call here. Everybody on the line, we're speaking to 707.
This is the Anti-View. How are you doing, ABL?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Happy 4th of July.
Oh, same to you.
I just wanted to call and I wanted to actually talk about the Olympics because I have a lot of liberal friends and a lot of people that are posting stuff about, oh, Michael Phelps and, oh, there's this girl that tested positive for hormones and everybody's making it a huge white versus black. They're turning it into a race issue, and it's not. If you look back in the Olympics, go back to 1998, there was a Canadian snowboarder that got their medal stripped away from them because they tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug named marijuana, which anybody who's been around weed knows that that's a lie in itself. But 1998, there was a white guy from Canada that got his medal taken away. This is not a race thing. This is an international Olympic sport thing, and I hate that they're just using it to further, let's drive a further wedge. Let's make people fight about more things. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy, but anything that's like this, anything that can be taken in a racial direction, they will, because it just helps their narrative. That's all.
Totally. So the one, I don't know her name, but she got in trouble for testing positive for some type of hormone or steroid or something. And she blamed it on eating pork tacos.
Yeah,
whatever.
I saw that.
I don't know. So just so everybody knows that there is more to the story. There always is. She did take a polygraph test and passed, which can be faked, but she also gave a hair specimen, and there was no trace of any steroids or hormone, like additional, in her hair. And she took a 4-year ban for the Olympics.
Wow.
So anybody who wants to say that it's not fair and, because this woman's black, she got a month slap on the wrist. This girl got 4 years taken away.
And the girl that got 4 years is white.
Yep. And Michael Phelps got 3 months, and he lost millions.
Yep, and he didn't even test positive. He just had a picture of himself with the bong, so there was no positive
and it
test.
Was after the Olympics too.
That's right.
He had already won all of his medals. It was after. So I hope that you have a great night, and I hope everybody has a safe 4th, and just have a good night.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Great call. Fantastic call. Yeah, people get banned all the time. People get banned. They get suspended. It's not a race thing. Do you know they banned the Russian Federation for 2 Olympics? Not 2 years, 2 Olympics because of widespread state-sponsored doping. So you're talking about, what, like 8 years? They banned the entire Russian Federation, the whole country. They banned them because of state-sponsored doping. So how many black folks in Russia? You tell me. But I digress. Let's get to the next call. 563 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Jeremiah. How can I help you? Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Hey, man, I'm glad I could get you on the phone here. I've been watching your videos for a while. I really love your opening song.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, hey, I just wanted to ask you real quick. So, listen to a little bit of Sam Cedar. I was curious, like, when is regulations okay in a libertarian, a libertarian government?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not libertarian, so I'm not really sure.
Okay, so more conservative. And if conservatives, do they agree with regulations? And if so, what kind of regulations do they like to have?
Well, it depends. I think, as far as my point of view, I can't say everybody else and what everybody wants, because everybody's different. And I think at a certain point, people just kind of compromise on certain things that they want. But as far as me, I like to have the government small, but not just. I'm not an anarchist. I want the government to be small.
No.
Yeah, I want small government.
You're a smart man, dude. I appreciate what you do, especially putting a voice out there for people who feel like they don't have a voice. Maybe people that feel disenfranchised. I think you do a good job with that, Yeah,
and I appreciate you for that. But yeah, I'm all about small government. We need some regulation, but not to the point where it's too much and you don't have any kind of freedom. But minimum regulation.
Cool. All right, hey, I hear you on that, and I haven't talked on a radio station like this, so I'm not doing the best at keeping my calm. But I just have one more quick question for you.
All right.
So, when it comes down to it, like my parents, they're super far right wing, they're conservatives, and I believe in immigration in a bit, because I believe if we allow people to come into our country a little bit easier, there won't be such a huge demand for human trafficking across our border. And they just hate the Democrats. And I said to my parents, I said, hey, if you could choose, would you have the Republicans be the control, would you have a Republican president every 4 years, every single time, and just have the Republicans? And they're like, heck yeah. And I'm like, that's communism. And if that's true, what am I thinking with that? Can you help me out with that thought process? Because I think there should be a 2-party system. And I think if your party is the correct party and the other one is completely wrong, then you're sliding down a slippery slope of a 1-party system, which can turn into communism.
Well, I mean, people are different in the country, and that's kind of what has the 2-party system flourish, because some think that abortion is a woman's right, my body, my choice, and some think that it's murder. And at a certain point, they're not really going to be able to get along. So I think as the country changes, as the somewhat majority feels one way, then they can get in power, at least on the federal level with the president. And if if it goes the other way, then the other side, they get in power. And then also you have states. So it's not just all about the federal government, it's about states as well. You got governors that have power, mayors that have power. So the system, the way it is pretty balanced. It's not just like China, where there's no, individuality, no state sovereignty. It's all about the CCP, and that's it.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I'm kind of scared with, the polarization between left and the right now. It's, if the left goes too far left and the right goes too far right, they're just going to be arguing for one side to be the right thing. And then you're going to turn into a 1-party system, one power rules all, And with abortion too, I understand exactly what you're talking about, because I mean, you go into abortion, when can a baby be killed? It's like if if you accidentally hit a girl and she's pregnant, are you supposed to be charged with a double homicide because she was pregnant and you get killed? That's what you have to argue with the anti. I don't want to go all into that, but I digress. In the words of the famous ABL. I love you, man. Hey, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I'm glad I could have this time with you. I appreciate your point of view and your perspective, man.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
See ya.
Yeah, I think the way it is, it works pretty well. Some say that the two-party system it needs to be more like 3 parties, but then I don't know how that makes any sense, because at a certain point with 2 parties, because really, if you have a question, the answer is either yes or no, right? For the most part. And that's why you have the 2 different parties to decide which one it is, either yay or nay. So I like the way that system works. Is it perfect? No, but nothing is perfect on planet Earth. I'd rather have the 2-party system than 8, 9, 10 parties, and there's always kind of confusion going on, or no differences in the parties, and have everything be the same. And we didn't want to go down that road at all. All right, the caller on Skype, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL.
Yes, sir. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hi, it's Danny from London again.
All righty, what's going on?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Everything's great.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to say thanks for taking my last call on your last show, and thanks for taking it again, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of questions, man. It's just I've been looking into a couple of things recently. I just wanted to get your thoughts on them.
All right.
Yeah, so the first one is I've been looking into like lobbying. So like obviously lobbying in politics, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on the lobbying part of politics when people run, and just your thoughts on lobbying basically, because I don't really know much about it. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on lobbying.
That's kind of a broad question. So what do you mean specifically about lobbying? Like, should it be a thing?
Yeah, sorry. I know it's a bit broad. Sorry. Like I have a sort of, so most leaders I feel like are sort of bought out and paid for. And I feel like they push sort of lobbyist policies before they even think about pushing the policies that they promised the people who voted them in the first place. And, in some cases, they never actually implement the policies that they even promised the people. And so if, again, how do you actually get past that, the lobbying part? I mean, how you can't, because most people, they're just going to get bought out. They're going to do what the lobbyists have told them to do. They're going to push their policies. And I mean, I think this has been happening for a long, long time now in politics. And how do you sort of get around that? I mean, so because I think Trump, from what I know, I don't think he necessarily was bought out, because you can see that, and I think the policies that he were implementing, and I just don't understand the kind of the difference with it all, with how Trump sort of didn't sort of do it, and the others sort of before him have. I don't know if I'm making sense here. I think I'm kind of rambling a bit.
Well, I understand, like the way Trump, because the problem is a lot of these, what you're talking about is it's so kind of pay for play, where it's like, okay, we'll give you some money to your campaign, and we are X, Y, and Z company. But you know what we want. You know what kind of things we like to do. We want fewer regulations. We want favorable treatment in the government. So we give you this money, but we want something in return. Now, Trump did not have to do that because he had his own money. He did take some money from big PACs and companies and stuff like that, but he had a lot of his own money. He was able to raise it and spend his own. But the average person who's out there just in politics does not have that luxury. That's why they rely upon a lot of these big companies and PACs and whatnot to support them financially. It's unfortunate that it's like that, but it's like, okay, if you're Hillary Clinton or you're on the left and you take all this corrupt politician money, all these big companies fund you to the tune of $1.3 billion, how are you going to win if you don't have anything near that? Now, Trump did it because his marketing strategy, it was just so amazing. And plus, he was already a celebrity and probably a billionaire or close to it. He had like, what, $700 million? He had like half of her money. But normally, if that's the case, you have half the money as the next person, you'll lose. So that's why the lobbying thing is so big. Now, I'm not sure what can be done to fix that, but there needs to be some kind of change to that, because at a certain point, you don't want to have lobbyists that are just bought and paid for, and rather than serving their constituents, they serve these large companies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's yeah, spot on. I mean, because that's the only thing. I mean, I guess there must be other stuff that stops certain policies and things have been done, but I feel like that's a big factor on why things, over time don't. There's not big changes. Is because they're kind of doing what those people want to do, and they're implementing what they want because they have to, right? They're bought out and paid for. They have to. They have no choice. And then it's okay. What can we do now? What kind of policies can we put in now that the people asked us to do? And I guess it's just a shame. I don't know if that's how politics is always going to be. But
yeah.
But yeah, I have a second question if I've got time for another minute, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on because I've been looking into the sort of the mass exodus of people leaving blue states to red states.
Yep.
So from LA, Cali, all the way over to Texas, and so I just want you to get your opinions on that. Of, I guess people vote the Democrats, and then they're experiencing some obviously, some negative things, and I guess they're not liking it, and they want to sort of jump ship. I mean, I have a sort of an idea. It's probably a bit way out there, but I'll just quickly just say it. So, say for example, you live in a blue state, you vote you vote for Democrats, and then they win. I think that you shouldn't be allowed, in the time that the Blues are actually in office, that you shouldn't be allowed to sort of just jump ship to a red state. I think you should stay in that state for as long as the Democrats are in power, and sort of reap what you sow. I mean, there has to be consequences to your actions, right? I mean, if you voted them in, will now suffer their consequences, right? Don't sort of jump ship in and go to red states and bring those sort of policies with you. I mean, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I mean, does that even make any sense what I'm saying there? Or
well, I'll answer it. Then I got some more calls. Now, as far as people that vote one way, like in these blue states, and then they leave to go to a red state because it's better, a lot of people are kind of ignorant. They don't know what they're doing. They think they're voting for the right thing. They think they're being altruistic and they're being nice to people when they vote for a Democrat. They don't understand what they're really voting for. They don't know that these policies of high taxes and whatnot affect the economy negatively. They don't know that when they vote for defunding the police and these things that are to help the so-called people of color, that is going to hurt everyone, including them. So then when they have very high taxes, no security, bad jobs that pay poorly, then they leave to go somewhere else where all the things that they had in the state where they lived are not going to be there. But they still have the ignorance. They're taking their ignorance with them. So then they go to a place like Austin, Texas, right?
Right.
And they turn that into California East. That's all, because they still vote the exact same way. It's ignorance that causes them to vote that way in California. They leave and go somewhere else and do the exact same thing because they're still ignorant. That's a problem. Now, as far as not being able to leave, now I don't want to be like, Cuba or something like that where you got to escape your state. I don't want to do nothing like that. But what I want to do is just have more education in K through 12, because people are just kind of dumb and they don't know any better, and they continue to be dumb throughout their entire life because they were never taught anything else from the very beginning. But hey, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks again, ABL. Take care. Thanks.
All right, now. Bye. Yeah, that's the whole problem. They were never taught anything else from the very beginning, so they just are dumb throughout their entire life. That's all. Okay, you live in California, you got really high taxes, the gas is through the roof, your power company is pretty much robbing you with no pistol. It's a whole big mess out there, right? And you leave because all these things are happening. You don't like it. You don't like how you live in. You can't buy anything out there. Try to get a house in LA. Good luck. You paying $500,000 in the ghetto for a bando, right? In a blood neighborhood. You got gangbangers doing all this. $500,000 for that. You leave and go to Texas and do the exact same thing. Now you're in Austin and you like, hey, things have not changed that much. I'm living in a different place, but it's the same environment. It's because of the way you vote. It's also your behavior as well. People's behavior, their voting patterns, how they live in California makes California California. So when they leave, they take the same living patterns and behavior with them. That's all. But I digress. Let's get to some more calls. 510, you're in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's Eric.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. Thanks for taking my call. I wanted to ask you, I know a lot of people are kind of maybe a little angry with Trump right now. I mean, because of the vaccine, the warp speed and all that stuff like that. I mean, where do you stand? Where do you stand on that? Are you still, supporting him? Would you support a 2024 run? What do you think?
Well, I got a little bit of noise in the background. Turn the speakers down for me, please.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. Now, as far as people, they're kind of upset at Trump. I feel like you got to kind of compartmentalize. There's some things that a person may do that you don't like. That doesn't mean that I hate them forever. I can dislike that one thing and still appreciate them as a person as a whole. Just like with, he early on, he was like, if you are a trans person, you can use the bathroom of your choice. I didn't like that too much. There are some things that Trump has said and done I didn't like. But overall, I approve. I have like a 90% approval rating of Trump. There's some things that he did I didn't like, but for the most part, he did a fantastic job. He did better in everything out of anyone that I've seen in office since I've been a little boy.
Absolutely. So I think maybe some people, in my opinion, and look, I'm not a huge fan of Operation Warp Speed by any means, but I think that is one small kind of blemish on what was an otherwise pretty good record as far as I'm concerned. And I think maybe people are just a little bit kind of worked up because, it kind of feels like the whole republic is falling, which it may or may not be right now. I mean, just before I let you go, is there a way to clean this up? I mean, voting laws, or how do we actually get out of this mess?
Well, it's going to take time. People kind of have, they want things to happen right now. Microwave generation. I want it right now, immediately. It'll take time. And I think it'd be best on a state-by-state basis. I think they're doing it right now in Georgia, Arizona, Tennessee. They're trying to get some of the voting laws tightened up because really what happened, we kind of got blindsided by the whole mail-in ballot thing. We hadn't done it before. And the situation was unique because of the virus. If not for the virus, I think we have Trump yet again because there'd be no mail-in ballots. There wouldn't be any room for any kind of shenanigans to go on. It'd just be different. The fear and the economy, all of that would be totally different. So I think that's kind of what changed it. And since that happened, it's a unique thing. And we got to change the laws. We got to update the laws to get prepared for that to happen again because since they did it and they saw some positive results, meaning the left, they want to do it again and again. So we got to make sure that we don't get caught blindsided and we're prepared the next time with some updated laws going from state to state. That's probably the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. And just last thing, I mean, so you still, I'm just genuinely curious. Like I said, a lot of people are still angry at Trump, but in your humble opinion, I mean, would you still trust him as a decent candidate in 2024? I mean, does he still, even with the vaccine stuff or the Operation Warp Speed, I'm not even sure what you can and cannot say anymore, but I mean, people they're talking about controlled opposition and he works for it. And he's actually a globalist and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of weird things, a lot of, things floating around. But in your opinion, I mean, is he still somebody that you could trust to run the country in a decent manner?
He can still do it, but I think that it'll be Ron DeSantis, quite frankly, because Trump, I'm not sure he's going to want to run because he's getting older, not getting any younger. It would have been great if he could have just still been in office now, because then by the time it was over, he'd be like 78 or so. He can just go ahead and fall back, come out every now and again to events. But if he was to run in 2024, he'd be 82 at the end of it. So I think he might not run. But what he could do is support candidates that do want to run. But if he did run, I'll support him. If he got a nomination, I definitely support him. But I like DeSantis. He is, in my opinion, the front runner.
Absolutely. All right, man. Thanks for your website. Love your videos. Love your live, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's get it some more here. The number to call 434-658-1220. 215 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
Hey, that's right. Can't complain about yourself.
Good, sorry, but I had to turn the volume down on the where I was listening.
Oh, it's all good.
And listen, one of your callers had called in. He said people should reap what they sow, and if you vote for a Democrat or Republican, you shouldn't be allowed to leave the state for as long as they're in office. Now, I know that's unrealistic. They can't really do that, but I would love for that to happen. That would be nice. Because I see a lot of people leaving, because I'm up in Pennsylvania, and I see a lot of people leaving Pennsylvania to go to Florida, or New York to go to Florida, or Texas. So honestly, I think that's been going on for a while, but the mass exodus, like you said, it's really happening.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. I'm seeing it all the time. Like I was saying before, when I got married, the driver who drove us back to our house from the hotel, he was saying that every week he's going to the airport, picking up people from California and Tennessee, and they going to these houses and they're buying them straight away. Sometimes they're buying them sight unseen. They're doing it. So it's happening all over the country: Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Georgia, New York, everywhere, all over the country, because California's become unlivable for many. It's just too much, and it won't get any better. They're talking about raising the minimum wage across the country. In California, it's already $15, and they're struggling more than people that don't have the very high minimum wage. So, yeah, people know what's going on, and they don't want to live like that anymore.
Yeah, like somebody said, change has to start with you. You have to be the one to change.
Definitely.
It has to start with the individual.
100% correct.
And one more thing, I don't know if you heard about the story. There was these two girls that was on TikTok. They used to twerk, and they were sisters, right? And they were living with their dad at the time. So what happened was one of the girls won $500,000. One of the sisters won $500,000. She refused to share with her other sister. She wanted to keep it all for herself. So her other sister that she refused to share with, had got her boyfriend, and they were going to go set their sister up so they could rob her, get her robbed, and get the money from her. But long story short, dad got involved. I told him no more of this twerking, and it was going to come to a stop. And boyfriend got involved. Dad and boyfriend got into an argument, and then boyfriend wound up shooting and killing the dad, and then shooting two innocent other people. None of the sisters got hit, but he wound up killing two. He wound up shooting two innocent other people who had nothing to do with the situation, who were nowhere near the area, accidentally shooting two other people. Did you hear anything about that?
You know what? I had seen like a headline for that story, but I had not actually read the story yet. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. So the dad was just trying to, I guess, intervene, trying to protect his kids. I mean, the whole story is crazy. The whole story is crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, he was trying to break it up, and then like trying to stop it, and then the boyfriend got involved, and it's just like, and it's just first of all, here's the crazy part. First of all, you are the boyfriend. You are not their father. You stay in your lane. That's how I feel. The boyfriend should have stayed in his lane. But what do you expect from somebody who doesn't respect their own parents? So he's not going to respect somebody else's parents.
I mean, the fault is in two places, obviously, with the sister, and with the boyfriend. The boyfriend's a moron. The boyfriend nothing but a crash test dummy, and the sister. I mean, what kind of man? That's terrible. That's really bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not taking no fault off the sister.
Oh no.
Yeah. Full blame. But just like yeah, what do you expect from people who are morons? But yeah, it's crazy, and I'm not gonna hold up your time, but real quick, over here in PA, they ended the mask mandate at the end of June, and what happened was when they ended the mask mandate, they voted against Governor Wolf's policy, so the mask mandate is over. So that's what I'm happy about. So I'll be staying in PA a little bit longer. It looks like I won't be going to Florida anytime soon.
All right, perfect.
But I still love Florida, though. I'm going to go check it out. I'm still going to check it out.
Yeah, do that for sure. Absolutely.
All right, got it. Have a good one, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Well, yeah, that story is crazy. I've been seeing that headline floating around YouTube, but I just hadn't watched it. That's crazy. So you got two sisters, right? They're twerking on TikTok or Instagram or something like that. One of them won 500,000, right? $500,000, and they did not want to share it with the other sister. I don't even know, like, why would you not? I don't get that part. But anyway, so the sister wanted to set the other sister up to get the money to rob her. It's like, why would you do that? Because now you're ruining the whole thing you got going on. If you try to rob her and take the money, now you can't do what you were doing on TikTok no more because you done robbed your own sister. What you gonna do? Like, rob her and then have it be like she don't know that it's you that did it? People are crazy. Totally crazy. 902, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Zach Logan.
All righty, what's going on?
How you doing? Yeah, you know what? I'm up in Canada, and you know we love you up here.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
We need one of our own. Thank you. All right.
All righty.
Take care.
Same to you. All right, shout out to the caller, short and sweet. 616 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Derek.
All righty, what's going on?
I would like to speak with Anthony, see what his take is on African Americans in the sense of true African citizens versus American-born Black Americans, if that makes sense.
Well, okay. I mean, you're live right now. It's me talking to you right now. This is ABL talking. So you've asked a question.
Oh
yeah, this is me.
Oh, sorry. I've gone through his all source shenanigans channel. Oh, so I would like to know your kind of take on it. So I'm a natural born South African, and I immigrated to the United States and got my citizenship in the United States, you know, and to me, it's a big dishonor if somebody goes, oh, I'm African American, if you will, but they're born in America, right? 'Cause to me, you're like, regardless of color, you're an American. So I kind of want to get your take on that whole view, because for someone like myself who holds dual citizenship, just want to get that take, because to me, it's like I said, I'm like, all right, I'm an actual African American, regardless of my skin tone. You're a true American. Where's that pride of what you really are? Can I get your take, sir?
Okay, now the thing about it is the term African American, that was, I don't want to say created, but it was designated as a term to call black folks in 1988 by Jesse Jackson. So it wasn't like a thing that all of us really just voted on and say, hey, African American, that's the way forward. It was decided in 1988 by one person to do that. Before that, it was color or Negro or black. I prefer black. It just makes sense for a racial designation. But as far as nationality, I'm an American. Some say African American, but I don't like that. It doesn't make any sense because, like you say, if you're from South Africa and you still have South African citizenship, to say African American for you would make more sense, or South African American or something like that, because you're both. But for us, it makes sense to say American, not African American. So yeah, I never use that term. If anything, I'll just say black for my race, and then beyond that, just American for my citizenship.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Because, like I said, it's a little difficult because I kind of want to approach when I speak with people and be like, yeah, I'm African American, but not quite, because
when people, okay, I'm gonna tell you this. When I speak to Africans, like Native Africans here, and I ask them, hey, where are you from? What they tell me is where they live now. And then I say, well, where are you from in Africa? And then they tell me where they're from in Africa. But they always adopt America as where they're from. So then when I ask them where they're from, they tell me where you live right now in America. That's generally how it happens. And they want to be specific and say, hey, okay, before you came here, where'd you live? Then get into that. So that's kind of how a lot of African immigrants do, from what I've been able to see.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it, and thank you for taking my call. I really, like I said, appreciate it much.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Yeah, that's what I get, because I always ask Africans. I mean, it always never fails. I be like, where you from? What I mean is in Africa, but they're American, and because they're American, right? They're an American citizen. Oh, I'm from Maryland. I'm from Florida. And then I say, well, before you came to America, where'd you originally come from? It's just like me when somebody says, where are you from? I say Virginia Beach. Where was I born? Oh, West Virginia. It's like the same thing, I guess you would say. Or if I fly somewhere, if I travel, they ask me at the hotel, where'd you come from? I say Tennessee. Where are you actually from? Virginia Beach. Where'd you grow up? Virginia Beach. Where were you born? West Virginia. So it's all about the context and the conversation, I suppose. What makes the most sense to say at a particular point? All right, let's get to some more here. The number to call, 434-65. I got my own number, 434-658-1220. There you go. All right, call you online. Speaker to 647.
Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
Everything's great. About yourself?
Not bad, not bad. I was looking at your show, watched you a few times, and I just wanted to point out a couple of things, see if you're in agreement. In general, the African American term, if everybody thinks about it, it's a name that's made to already divide you. Because if you say you're African American, then somebody says, "Well, go back to Africa." But if you say you're American, go back to America. Yeah, I'm standing here. So that, to me, and I think black people need to get it together and just start attacking on social media, and somehow using like how the left used divisive language against us. Use their same language to say, hey, this is a racist term, African Americans racist. So that's one thing. Second thing I'd like to say to your audience, can you let me know roughly how many subscribers you think you have across all platforms? I know YouTube is messing with your numbers. I'll tell you why after. I just want a rough idea as to numbers that you might have.
I don't really know. I think whatever you see is pretty much what it is.
Okay, but across all platforms, so Discord and everything else, what would you estimate it to be?
It's close to 1 million.
Okay, so you've got roughly 1 million, and everyone that's on there. So what I'm getting at is we've got to basically digitally mobilize in our communities to make changes instead of just complaining and pointing it out, because those people are not complaining. They're marching, burning, taking over our schools. And one of the things I want to share with your audience, as a way to really get through and make change, is a very simple way. We got to start in our community schools, and and even those of you listening that do not have children, you're still part of the effort to help those, because you're going to be living in these communities and in the society. So what I'm getting at is if people, your viewers, somehow organize within, use your Discord, use whatever you can provide that connection with, the glue. So you would be the hub of the extended community. Everybody basically says, you know what, I live in this little neighborhood. The way the school systems work, everybody, there's usually a board of trustees, and they're elected. So you pick, and they're the ones that control the school boards. So you're not going to change your principal. You're not going to change the director. Nothing's going to change. So, but look at it this way. If there's 12 board of trustees and 12 of you got on there, immediately you guys can make changes inside, right out, and you're there for 4 years, usually these terms. Depends on where you live, but understand how your basic public school system works. So you guys work from that base, then you help promote your city councilors from your groups, and that's the way because that's what the left has done. They took their time, got into everything, and we see this, and we're all complaining. The only way we're going to make a change is to take their tactics, come back in, because we know there's more of us, the silent majority, come back in, take back control, and that's the only way this is going to change. Because we could talk all day and all night, but they're just going to keep going with their plan, and they just keep taking up more and more space. You say give them an inch, they take a mile. Brother, we're well past the mile. We got the country. They've got states. And they're leaving their states like California and coming to where you said Tennessee and Texas. Come on, folks. We know how this is going to turn out in the next 10 years. They're going to be doing the same thing. So I'll leave that with you. Consider that if your platform and other, like, let's just say, I don't want to say black conservatives, but I just want to say all those of like mindsets, if you guys reached out to each other behind the scenes, put together a digital forum and help set up, a collective area where you help fund. So you guys are, Anthony, yourself, and the others that are making a few bucks. And if people, you help with, like GoFundMe type things for people's election, because everybody says, yeah, you should run. And when you say, yeah, a lawn sign costs $10, how much can I put you down for? Then it's like crickets. Nobody's around, right?
Right, I got you, man.
What do you think of that?
Like, we're actually doing that. A friend of mine is running for school board out here. Another friend of mine, a person that's very popular, very, very well known, very well established out here, is running for the local Senate, like the state Senate. I've met Bill Lee. I've met Chuck Fleischman. Also, I think he's the House rep. I met a lot of people, and people out here that need my help for whatever. I do it for them. I've been involved in politics out here a lot on a local level, and that's where it really matters, is locally, and then you can spread out from there. So I implore everybody, if you can, get involved, because not everybody can do it. Everybody has a role to play. However you can help, I would say do that in your local area, because that's what really matters. The presidency, that's cool, that's great, that's the big, popular, attractive race, but locally is where it really matters.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Like, this message, you may take that for granted because you've been around this, you live it, you breathe it, so you assume that everybody is in the same step with you. I'm suggesting to you they're not. Look at the comments. I'm suggesting you have a call-in show where you dedicate one day a week for just the first half an hour, saying, hey, what's going on in whatever primaries or whatever school board election.
I mean, that's not, but really, that's not really what I do. What I do is I encourage everybody to get involved in their local politics, to try and cover every place in the country. Hold on. Let me just say what I got to say. I got more calls. Now, I encourage everybody to get involved locally, however way they can, because it won't be the same way every time. It might not be about just the election. It might be about something else. However you can get involved in your local area, I encourage everybody to do it. And that's pretty much what I can bring to the table. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Okay. Hey, thanks for taking my call, and have a good night.
All right, same to you. Yeah, I mean, this ain't like that channel. This ain't that. But I encourage everybody to get involved locally. But I'm not going to dedicate a portion of the show to local politics. It's just not what I'm going to do. It is what it is. Let me get to the next call. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And I'm not going to. Alrighty, Matt, what's going on?
ABL, what's happening, man?
Everything's great, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I'm still in Seattle, regrettably.
Man, no, sorry to hear it.
We have like a walkable Main Street thing going on where everybody's kind of outside.
I can't hear what's going on here.
Sorry. And I'm kind of surprised that everybody's getting the vaccine here. I mean, a couple of years ago, everybody was talking about how they're not going to eat corn because it's genetically modified, and now everybody's getting the vaccine.
It's that fear. It's that fear because it was a fear campaign that was waged on the American people. And now everybody's so scared, they got to get the shot because it makes them feel safe.
Yeah, and they're getting a shot that will genetically modify them, but they still will buy organic foods and all that other stuff.
Right, exactly.
Tripping on it. Hey, why is it that I've noticed that people of color tend to wear a mask a lot more than white people do?
I've seen the same thing. I've seen that it's fear. That's all. Black folks are more scared than everybody else about the virus. That's all. That's all it is.
Are they legitimately scared, or is it like a political thing? Because like I kind of clued in on this. I just got back from Austin, and I was standing in the TSA line, and I noticed that the people of color that are TSA workers really like to yell at people that are white that don't have their mask up. It's almost
it's fear, because I'm gonna tell you what's going on. What's happening is you're gonna see more black folks still wearing their masks, but you're also gonna see fewer black folks getting the vaccine. You're gonna see fewer whites wearing the mask, but more whites getting the vaccine. And the black folks that still got the mask on, they don't trust your vaccine. They don't have it, and they don't trust yours, because it can still spread. So they're like, all right, I'm still afraid of this virus, but I'm not getting the shot. And I think the mask is what's going to protect me, because that's what was said at first. I don't believe this whole thing about the vaccine, and I don't believe that your vaccine works. So that's why that's going on.
So it's cultural, not political?
Yeah. No, it's not political. Nah, it's not that. It's really just about people not wanting to get the vaccine, and also the fear. And then others, since they got the vaccine, they feel like they could put the mask down. That's what's going on.
Yeah. And then that's probably all I got for you. I hope you're following the election audits pretty good. I heard you talking about it. Yeah, I don't think Republicans are going to tee up for Trump. I think there's a lot of Mitt Romney-esque kind of people out there. And if Trump were ever, if it were shown that he really won the election, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to cover it up on both sides, because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that, we're basically a failed state. I think probably like 1 out of every 15 people that live here are illegal, and we can't run an election. And on the world stage, I think we're getting pretty embarrassed militarily. There's trespasses everywhere. So we'll see what happens, man.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Yeah, be good. I appreciate you.
I know.
Bye.
So I'm reading some of the comments here. Some say, don't generalize. We're not a monolith. I'm just saying from what I see, because not everybody that's black is going to wear the mask. I'm not wearing the mask, nor do I have the shots. If you want to get it, that's your business, not my priority. But from what I see, just my observation, a lot of white folks, especially on the internet, they, I don't see very many TikToks of black folks kissing. I don't see very many TikToks of black folks kissing Dr. Fauci. Have you guys seen that? I might put it up a little bit later, but this lady had a body pillow of Anthony Fauci and kissed it, talking about, this is my new boyfriend. I'm seeing vaccine tattoos. I'm seeing that type of stuff. With black folks, I'm seeing hesitancy. That's why there's like this whole big push to get black folks to get it. I'm seeing these really cringy campaigns on BET and stuff like that. I'm seeing that. And I'm seeing like this big push from people talking about, oh, well, blacks and Hispanics, they are lagging behind and getting the vaccine, and we got to raise it up and all this and that. It's a whole big thing. They know who's getting it, who's not getting it. Now, I can't say that everybody that is white is going to get the vaccine. Obviously not. Nor can they say that everybody that's black won't get it. But there's a clear disparity. You're going to have more whites to get the vaccine than blacks and Hispanics. That's just the numbers that I see. And if the numbers are wrong, then I can't tell. But you guys in the chat, you guys are more awake than the regular. So you guys don't even really fit into the general normie category. If you're watching this show, you're not a general normie. You're like an advanced normie. I'm an advanced normie. You guys are advanced normies. That's pretty much how that goes. All right. And we're advanced normal people. We're not the weirdos that pierce their eyeballs on TikTok. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not the norm. We're not the weirdos. But we got more calls to get to. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, the Pfizer tattoo, crazy. Johnson & Johnson, all types of songs. I'm seeing flat out musicals about getting the vax. Did you guys see vaccinate? That was 90% white, but I digress. Anyway. 972, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going? This is Sean.
Everything's
Serial
great.
in chat.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, not too much, man. I just want to tell you, I've been loving your show, been loving what you got to say and everything. It's been great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And listen, just keep doing what you do. It's great. It's great hearing from somebody that knows what they're talking about. You're very eloquent. I'm just a fan. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, man. It means a lot to me.
All right. Hey, no problem, man.
All right, now, take care.
Take care.
Shout out to the caller. Love the calls. Just calling to say, hey, man, doing a great job. Keep up the good work. I love it. And thank y'all again for being here. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead, hit the thumbs up. All the advanced normies out there, hit the thumbs up for me. And if you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, go ahead and give me a 5-star rating if you could. I'd appreciate it if you did. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, share the video. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and do that right now. It's absolutely free. If you did it, that'll help me out more than anything in the world. That's like $1 million on my head right now. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I thank you for that. We're on the road to 1 million subs on the YouTubes. We'll get there soon enough. Shout out to my brother, Kevin Samuels, already getting there. You know, just skyrocketing it up. Shout out to everybody that's there. I'll be there soon enough with you guys' help. So we got more calls. Let's go. 912, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
I'm in. This is Nicole. Hi, ABL.
Hey.
I've been watching your channel for like a year or two now. Thanks for making this content. I'll be really quick. I wanted to say to the caller earlier who spoke about Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah.
What's going on? Who's a 100-meter runner that tested positive for having marijuana in her system. There are Black opportunists that are trying to make this about race and, do the whole victimhood thing. But the athlete herself, who will later probably be like a household name like Serena Williams or something, we'll see her in future Olympics in the future. This young lady is taking complete responsibility for what she did. She unfortunately found out that her mother was dead from a reporter that she didn't even know.
Wow.
And
Really?
had to still go out there. Yeah, and you can see her interview, and it was so sad. And she's making no excuse. She is not saying, oh, well, if I was a white woman, you know how to do. If I was a white woman, I wonder if this or that. And so I just wanted to say, Sha'Carri Richardson, she herself is not doing the victimhood thing. But people, I just saw a post where they were like, legalize, educate, and let Sha'Carri speak the Olympics. And I'm like, hold on. Because she is Black, and now they're making this about marijuana, now they're making about all this other stuff. And I just have to say, Sha'Carri herself is not. But really quick, Brianna McNeil, the hurdler, who also is not going to be on the team. She came in second in her race. She actually is being pulled. I don't know if you saw her post. She was like, these European white men are oppressing me, and because unfortunately she had an abortion for some reason, that they were oppressing her, and she wonders if she was a white woman in that situation. So I just wanted to speak on people making opportunity to divide us, but I just had to speak up for Sha'Carri and say, like, she herself as an athlete, she is not doing this. She is not making it about race. And then to the other point, I also identify as a Black American. I'm American. I'm born here. My people have been here for I don't know how long. So I don't know. I just love your content. Thought I'd call in. I didn't think I'd make it in, but thanks for picking up.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
And that's a great call. I didn't even know that she found out about her mother's death from a reporter. That's crazy. So imagine you just there talking about the Olympics. You pumped up, get ready to go to Tokyo, all this, that, and the third. And then say, hey, Miss Richardson, how you feel about your mom dying? What? Oh, man. Like, you, at that point, you find out right there, live on there, you're not prepared for it. You're not ready. You don't know how to really deal with it. And then the situation is kind of complicated because your mother didn't raise you. You raised by your grandmother and your aunt. Might not have been in contact with your mom that well. It's a lot to deal with. 21 years old, that's a lot going on. So she made a mistake. It's like, yo, that's my fault. I did that. It's my fault. I knew what I was doing. Nobody else to blame. Didn't say, oh, it's the white man trying to oppress me. Didn't say, oh, well, this shouldn't be all this and that and the third. I did that. I'm sorry. Moment of weakness won't happen again. I can respect that. She's not trying to say she shouldn't get whatever kind of punishment she's getting. Hey, give me my suspension. I'll serve it. I apologize. I apologize to my fans, to my sponsors, to everybody. I'm cool with that. And like the young lady just said on the phone, you got other people trying to make it be a race thing, and they're trying to capitalize on it, talking about legalize it, and it's the white man oppression. Wait a minute. Wait. Y'all making excuses when Sha'Carri didn't do that. Sha'Carri was like, hey, this happened. It was messed up. I apologize. Not blame the white man, oppressed, Black Lives Matter, legalize it. So dumb. That's what I don't like. I don't like people that try to take advantage of I don't like people to try to take advantage of things to make it be about their own thing when the people that it happened to don't do it themselves, especially. That's terrible. Yeah, allegedly. I mean, everything's allegedly, ain't it? All right, let's get to some more calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. And let's go ahead and do it to it. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Cigar Box. How you doing, Anthony?
Everything's great, man. How about yourself?
Oh, just living a dream, and it's a nightmare. So, I I was wondering about this thing here. Like, she's doing the right thing. She said it's my fault. I smoked the dope, but why are the left not going, hey, this is the right thing? Because they're always screaming about like suppression with the speech, saying, well, it's a private company, tough crap if you don't like it. Well, this is the World Organization. If you don't like the rules, tough crap.
Very good point. You know, it's the IOC. They have their rules. It's like, hey, you know, this is what we do. It seems like that whole thing, you know, the rules are the rules. Follow them if you don't like them. Oh, well, that only goes one way. You know, when they're talking about Twitter and Facebook, because they are very liberal companies and they want to censor conservatives, then it's fine whenever they want to enforce their rules, because they don't enforce these rules against the left. Except for one time I saw recently that Right Wing Watch, which is an anti-conservative channel on YouTube, they got a channel deleted. And then immediately all the left-wing journalists changed all their views. Rather than just, it's a private company, they could do whatever they want to do. They changed that instantly because now it affects them. Now they want to just be all of a sudden about anti-censorship. The same thing that they say that we are wearing tinfoil hats to be concerned about, they're concerned about now because it affects them.
Yeah, exactly. And did you see the kerfuffle going on? I think it's in Ohio State, where this woman was. I think she was. They were having the Senate hearing or something like for. I don't know. It had to do with the, what do you call it? The trans people, and there was a bill that was introduced, and it was in Ohio. I believe it was Ohio now. Okay, so what happened was the bill said that the athletes, college athletes and that, could get paid for their images and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And this woman wanted to tack on to the end of the bill that, you know, it's got to be biological women, biological girls that are going to do this. And as she was talking, people were going, like, in the, like, these are elected officials, going mental. There was this fat slob guy. He's up there screaming, yelling, and they're banging on the desk and everything to try and drown her out. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but I need to. Wow. So you said that was in Ohio when they did that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ohio, because she was trying to just tack on to the end of the bill that this should be that way. And I mean, it only makes sense because if now that they've done this, I mean, it's bad enough that these guys can go out there and say, oh, geez, I'm a woman, and now I can go and get a free scholarship. So
right. Yeah.
But now they're looking at it saying, hey, I can get a big cash payout. All these guys are just going to whip on a skirt, go out there, run around with a massive bulge in their leggings, and win all these things. And all the girls are going to be pushed out, and they're going to get the money. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's really crazy, and it's pretty obvious that can happen because, okay, if you have biological men that can compete with women, they would dominate. And these coaches, if they have that ability to recruit transgenders, they do it, and then the women will be put at disadvantage. Just like the whole thing with the track and field. Okay, so you have the young lady, Sha'Carri, right? She came in first with a 10.81 in the 100 meter. But her score was a full half second slower than the slowest guy who qualified for the men. So I think the slowest guy for the men was like a 10.3 or something like that. So if you have the top trained men competing with the top trained women, there's no women that can beat them. I think the record is 10.4 by FloJo in the 80s. So no women would ever be able to win. It is just totally unfair.
Oh yeah, and the other thing about that spa where the woman was went in there, I was amazed at how well she conducted herself, without freaking out.
Yeah.
But it's weird because the day before that, I was just talking with my son about that very thing, because I've got his son is 10 years old, and his daughter's 8 years old, and I said, "What's the stuff?" I said, "Let's just say, for sake of an argument, every single transgender person is wonderful. There's nothing wrong with them. They're better than, Mother Teresa. What's to stop the pervert from saying, just going, sees my granddaughter go into the washroom and says, 'Oh, great, I'm just going to go say I identify as a woman. They got to let me in. Nobody will blink at this clown going in there.' He goes in there and just assaults her." Right? Like, so it doesn't have anything to do even with the transgender person. It's the dummy taking advantage of the situation.
That's right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's something that they're setting up. And as far as I'm concerned, if they haven't stuck it into the guillotine and gotten rid of it, then they're not showing, what the thing is. Like, those women were in there. They're walking around. They said there was little girls in there, and that guy's in there swinging it around. Like, come on, this is absolutely disgusting. But exactly. I better let you go. You got a ton of calls there, I happen to know. So it's been great talking to you again. Talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
You too.
Great call. Fantastic call. So I found that clip he was talking about from Ohio, and this is from Ian Miles Chong, still great on the Twitters, and the headline says, Ohio Democrats furiously pound their fists as Republicans introduce a bill to protect girls and women from transgender ideology. Let's check it out. Sir, what are you doing? You're about 75 years old. You about to rupture something, man. You better go ahead and relax. It's like, why? What have we become? What have we become? It's crazy. But hey, like I said, Sha'Carri Richardson had an excellent time, like 10.8 in the 100 meter. The record for any woman ever is FloJo. I think she had a 10.4. That's like that's a record that nobody's come close to beating. Like one of the top records. That record right there will probably never be seen again by a woman. 10.4 was the record, is the record. The slowest man that qualified was like a 10.3 this year. So if you are able to recruit transgender women, biological males that identify as women to your track and field, come on, it'd be no contest, because men are physically different than women. People can say that I'm being sexist or racist or any other obic over-ish, but it doesn't change reality. Biology is not sexist. Biology is not racist. Biology is biology. Period. Let me get to the next one. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking
to? Hey, Bill. How's it going?
Everything's great. How about yourself?
Pretty much frustrated with everything that's going on. I do have one question to ask you is, how come you seem to be a little bit late on these Trump rallies, especially the speeches so far?
Well, I can't cover those because they strike you.
Well, I know you can't cover them. I meant in terms of actually listening on them. And giving your 2 cents on them after the fact.
I don't have the time.
Okay. Anyway, when it comes down to the Chicago mayor, she's pretty much in the same self-entitlement issue that we seem to be seeing a lot more with black female Democrats in different major cities. Baltimore, Atlanta, and the DC mayor, who I call Queen Koopa. They seem to be kind of thinking that they're immune to criticism, and they hide behind their race and gender as a justification for why they can't get anything done.
Well, that happens a lot. That does happen, but obviously it's not working because they're getting criticized, and really it's a lot of black folks in the cities that criticize them. So obviously it's not working very well.
And I know you probably saw the video about a week ago in terms of, forgot her name, but black female Congress city council woman actually tried to call her out, and the mayor got in her face about it.
Yeah, Jeanette. I forget her last name. I think her name was Jeanette Taylor. Yeah.
And pretty much with the Newsmax one, she pretty much did the same type of deflection tactics as Potato Biden did in terms of rejecting any type of reporters who were going to criticize him in the first place. So as far as I see it, we need to do all recall elections in every single major city because a lot of them are failing to do their job properly, and more importantly, they're letting down everybody who lives in these cities, especially with the ones that are still having the lockdowns going on.
Yeah, I mean, are lockdowns still happening right now at this point in the game? Really?
Yep, pretty much so. So in different cities that I've read about is that they won't let you in different areas unless you've been vaccinated, and if you are, you still have to wear a mask.
Wow.
And that's kind of one reason why I'm very livid with my own family, because they agreed on one hand that you have a right to decline this, but on the other hand, you have no choice in the matter in terms of wearing a mask like it's the new normal, which, in my opinion, is the definition of tyranny.
Yeah, it's a thing. Hopefully we'll be able to get beyond this and put it past this and then look back on it and see how crazy it was.
Okay. Well, what are you going to do for 4th of July, may I ask, before going?
Well, I've already gone to see fireworks. I might do a cookout tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Well, my birthday's on the 5th, so is Judge Joe Brown's.
All right, man. Well, enjoy your birthday. How old will you be?
31, man.
Okay, young man. Youngin. Well, enjoy your day, man.
Okay, you too.
All right, now, take care. All right. Happy birthday, young man, 31. Remember those days back in the day when I was 31. Nah, I mean, I'm not much older. I'll be 37 in September. You know, one step closer, knocking on 40's door. I'll be there before you know it. It's weird. People say that I look old online, but I look young offline. I don't know. It's weird. You know, your perception of somebody on the internet is different than when you see them in person. Because I'm actually very tall. I'm like 6'3". So people don't think that. They think that I'm going to be shorter and older. I don't know. But yeah, I am 6'3", and I probably look younger to you when you see me in person than I actually am. But I look older here to some. I don't know. It's weird. All right, let's get to some more calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 718, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I finally got on. Hi, Miss House. This whole thing with the this transgender, it's the weightlifter, and I think a while back you talked about the transgender one, Miss Nevada. what do you ultimately think is the future of these, like, of the Olympics and or beauty pageants? You know, all this organized, you know, culture. You know, what has been part of our culture for many.
Okay. Now I think that if they allow it to go further and they allow more transgender people, then you're going to have women become disenfranchised because they won't be able to win a lot of these competitions. Not only the Olympics, but also some of these beauty pageants, because if you can have men go in there and get all kind of surgery and stuff like that, and also if the more male look becomes the norm in these pageants, then they're going to win. And then it's going to cause a lot of women to go out there and get surgery to get these 15-foot long chins and big necks and shoulders and whatnot. It'd be a mess. So I don't want to see.
Like it's already become like a mania or something. I'm hearing about the kids. I don't know. The schools being encouraged, to take puberty blockers, yada yada. But I just don't understand, like, why anyone for the beauty pageant, any of the other protested? Did they, or were they? Or same thing with the Olympics. How is that person even allowed to be on the Olympics? I thought that. The idea of steroids and all that were prohibited.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought that steroids, testosterone, all these drugs are prohibited. But apparently, if somebody is a transgender person or they identify as transgender, then they're able to dope and it's fine. But if they're not, then they can't, and it's a bannable offense. It's strange.
Yeah. I get the feeling. I used to, I used to support gay rights in terms of gays being left alone and all that, protection, privacy. But I get the feeling like maybe they're trying to redefine themselves now or something, and now they're even covering race, anybody disabled, anybody they consider in their minds oppressed. But this seems to be taking it to a new level that I just feel like I'm in the twilight zone, and I just wondered though why, I don't know, it's how they can get away. The clip you just showed of the Democrats, the Ohio Democrats, kind of carrying on like a bunch of morons. I mean, I don't, I find it so discouraging. I think that more people should really protest, but will they? That's the problem. Fortunately now there's a backlash against the CRT. Our parents, I'm not a mother, I'm not a parent, but are they protesting against this transgender stuff? You're more abreast of the news than I am.
Well, I'm not really sure. I think certain people, they don't understand what's going on until it happens. And once it is actually on them, then they'll make noise. But until then, they kind of just go through life kind of ignorant to what's happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, Well, I can say I just appreciate people like you, that, the breath of sanity. That's just saying that, keep up the good work. And I guess you have a ton of other callers. So I'll let you go and have a nice 4th of July. And just remember how this country used to be. That's all. I just still love this country. I hate to see the direction that we're heading. Yeah. Okay, so be well. Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Bye.
All right, great call. Let's get to some more here. We got about a half hour left. So a few more calls will be on the line. The number to call, you already know what it is. There it is right there, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 310. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL. This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Excellent. I just checking in with you. I got my hat, my USA hat, and I was sporting that Tybee Beach the other day. And, man, I got some pretty good looks. In fact, a couple of people stopped me and said, man, where'd you get that hat? Now I was telling them, I said, do you know about ABL? And he said, no. I said, man, go check this brother out. And he said, man, I love your hat. This is very patriotic. I said, that's what I'm about. But,
wow,
I just
amazing.
wanted to say thank you for that. It was quick response, and it was even better than what I thought it would be. So thank you for that hat.
Thank you for the support. Couldn't do it without you, man.
Yes, sir. But I was just trying to think about my topics for today. I was just thinking about the, what's going on in California. I'm from California originally, and seeing what's going on out there, I mean, it's even more way out than what I thought. It's more way out than I thought. I didn't even know about the Wii Spa, but the lady just went totally off, and she hit it right on the head. I don't know what's wrong with our society today that we can't. The mindset of the people is crazy. Our nation is kind of sick right now, and we need some therapy. And you know what? People like yourself and Tatum, Candace, and even myself in there, we're the therapy. We're the cure. As long as we continue to preach the truth for our nation, I think we can make some changes. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There's no two ways about it, and people need to understand that. There's rules, say like even with the sprinter and everything, there's rules, and I don't understand why the actors and everything want to go ahead and berate people for following the rules. The rules are the rules, and that's the thing about it. We have become a lawless state in the nation. People are prosecuted, accused, imprisoned, but the ones that have some type of power are not accused, are not in prison, and they should be. It's a sad state of a nation, but we as a people, as the people of America in this United States, on this 4th of July, we need to understand what we are about. We have got away from tyranny, but tyranny is still knocking on our door. I will not submit to this tyranny that's going on. I will stand up for what is right. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There's no two ways about it. So anyway, that's just my rant for today, sir. I just want to say I really appreciate you. Continue to have a good fight. And I'm fighting with you, my friend, right here in Georgia.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you, sir.
I know.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank you to everybody that's supporting the store. Great segue, by the way. ABLmerch.com. ABLmerch.com. We got the USA special edition hats available. You see it. You see the camo on the front. So if you want to go hunting, fishing, whatever, or just be stylish, you got the camo on the front, USA with the raised stitching, special edition. It took about 2 months to get these. I had to order them. They had to make them in Oregon and then send them over here to Tennessee. So you got the raised stitching, and then you got the mesh back. Okay, you got the stripes, the red and white stripes, and you get the stars on this side. It draws a lot of eyes. Definitely draws a lot of eyes. I brought some of these with me when I went to my speaking engagement. I had like 14 hats. They sold out instantly, like right away. Instantly. So I thank you all for purchasing the hats and just supporting the store. But I got a lot more in the store, and I have more items to make. I need a Yuri Was Right shirt. I got to do a lot. So I'll be updating that merch really soon here. But yeah, I design all the merch. I'm responsible for it. So this is straight from me to you. And thank y'all for the support of the store. All right, let's get to a few more here. Let's go 650. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is Timo.
All righty. What's happening?
Calling from California. And that's part of the reason why I'm calling. Happy 4th of July weekend, by the way.
Oh, same to you.
I've been hearing it for a long time now, listening to your show. I love your show. Love you. You're awesome, dude. Anyway, everybody's so quick to bash California. And I get it. It's like we got a lot of problems here, but, I'm 62 years old. I was here before the hippies were here. Born and raised in San Francisco. And somebody's got to hold the fort, We can't all just run away to Tennessee and start a new a new state or whatever, or divvy up the state. Somebody's got to hold the fort and maintain the values that, hell, I grew up with. You know, I'm conservative, been conservative my whole life. So is my family. And like I said, we're from San Francisco. My dad was from San Francisco, and you know, it's gone to pot, so to speak. But you know, we can't all just run away. And here's another thing: it's like during the hippies, the Summer of Love, and all that. That was everybody coming from every other state coming here. You know, and mucking up this place. And the same thing with Silicon Valley. Everybody come here mucking up this place from other states. And now that things are going bad, and they're going to go to your state, you know, and muck up your state. And if you don't think so, you know, if you think it's all going to be just, you know, red pill people that are going to go to Tennessee and Virginia and Texas and Arizona, you're wrong. I mean, not you per se, but, you know, everyone. It's just, you know, if you look around, there's a lot of people that they make it their mission to mess up where you are. That's their goal. It's sad to say, but it's true. You know, they just go from state to state, city to city, and just muck it up. I don't know. This is my opinion. Just want to get that. I get tired of people bashing California all the time. We're not all like that, you know. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, sometimes you have to go because, I mean, that's how the Eastern Europeans got here, because things weren't really right where they were. They had to leave. There was a whole lot of things going on. They came over here. People gotta leave. They gotta go. They start new countries. They go into other countries. That's just what it is. And as far as California, it's like, what can really be done? I mean, you want to try and stay and make things better, but it's to the point now where you're not trying to stop it from going off the cliff. It's off the cliff. Now, certain parts of the state are beautiful. A lot of great people that live there. A lot of conservative, real patriots that live there. However, look at what's happening with the state. Now, you guys are on the right track by trying to get the governor out, Gavin Newsom. But what if you put another Gavin Newsom in there? So I understand those that want to leave because at a certain point, you want to continue to live your life. Now, some may want to stay and try to fix it. But if you're staying for years and years and years and it's just getting worse and worse, it's like, are you going to sacrifice your life to this cause that's not really going anywhere? Or are you just going to go somewhere else and live a better life, just like some of these Eastern Europeans did to come over here in the 30s and 40s and whatnot, you know?
Yeah. But I you know, I get it. It's cool, but not everybody can pick up and leave. And
yeah.
And just because, you know, there's a lot of just literal crap around, doesn't mean that, you know, I have to step in it. You know, I can avoid it, and they should avoid me. And you'd be surprised when I talk to people around here how few people are actually born in California.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so anyway, I know you got a lot of callers, and I just appreciate you so much, and thanks for letting me speak, and have a great weekend, and keep up the great work, man. Really appreciate you.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All righty. Good night.
All righty. So, I mean, so Cox got voted in. So, what happened with that? Is it already over with? So is Gavin Newsom gone? Like, what's going on? Have I missed something? Okay, I think that's still happening. So, who will be the next governor? Who do you guys think? Like, who's going to win it? That's not over yet. I think they still have to have the recall. That's not actually happened. That's not actually been completed yet. Who's going to be the next governor? But yeah, I mean, California, if people leave, I understand, because you want to have a life that's worth living. You don't want to live in that for so much longer. It's like, do you want to go to the weed spa or any kind of spa and see a male in there swinging this stuff around? Is that what you want to? But I salute everybody that's there trying to fight for their state, trying to fight for what they believe is right. I salute everybody trying to do that. 601, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh snap! Hold on, let me mute it. Hey ABL, you know it's Justice. What's up?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm kind of triggered though. You said 0.
Hey, it's not my fault. Blame the white man.
60. You know, here in the South, you gotta say 601. I'm triggered now.
Hey man, I can't do nothing about that. But what's happening?
I'm good, man. I gotta tell you something, man. Guess what I got this week?
What's that?
I got the COVID shot this week.
Wow. So what happened? Like, was it a job requirement?
Oh no, never that. I'm in Mississippi. It's not a job requirement. But I'm going to Raleigh, North Carolina, in a week or 2 weeks. So I went ahead and got it because I know they be tripping up there in North Carolina, Virginia, every time I go up there. So I was like, at this point, man, it's free. So I said, no, I'm gonna get it. So
all right, man. You know what?
Cool.
Hey, if you call in the next time and I'm hearing some zombie sounds in the background, don't say that nobody warned you now.
I'm like, ABL warned you before this happened. Hey, you want me to tell you what happened though? Like the feelings?
Yeah, what happened?
All right, so right when I got the shot, it felt like the flu shot, but my arm, it was more stiff. Like where I got the shot at, it was more stiff. It's been stiff. I got the shot Tuesday. No, I got the shot Monday. No, it was Tuesday. Tuesday, my arm's been stiff for 3 days. On the first day of that night, my head was like really heavy. Like I couldn't move it a lot because it would hurt like really bad. And it was kind of like the flu shot a little bit. Like I would get really, really hot and get really, really cold. So I didn't have the AC at a good temperature at all when I was trying to sleep. So I didn't really get good sleep. And I think it's like a lymph node or something like that. It pops up under your armpit.
Sir.
Now, yeah.
Your lymph nodes are swollen? Is that what you're telling me?
It was something like that. I looked it up as something like that. So they said the reason that happens, I went back and asked them about that. It went back down now. Like it's back down. They said the reason that happens is that's actually common to get like it feels like a lump under your armpit because since that's where you got the shot at, that means that the shot is apparently working. Like that means that it's fighting the virus. Like it's learning to fight the virus if you ever get it again. So it was hurting. Like I couldn't close my arm because like it just hurt it really bad. And that was like till yesterday actually. Like it's back to normal now. I can move my arm back now, but that sucked. Like that really sucked. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
It literally felt.
How about I don't get that one? If you want to get it, that's fine. But my lymph node swelling up, I'm like, okay, do I have breast cancer? What's happening here?
Well, they said, all right. So they said if you don't feel anything, then that means you have breast cancer. But if it feels like if you can feel it, then that's actually a good thing. That means it's the COVID-19 shot. If you don't feel anything, that could be cancer. Because I asked about that when I looked it up. I asked her. So she said I was good. She said it should be gone in a couple of days. And it is away now, but I was kind of scared. I'm not going front. I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
Because I was like, so I got the little paper that, that says like your name, date of birth, and what shot you got. I got the Pfizer shot. I got to go back August 3rd because I'm going to be in North Carolina. So, it's like 3 weeks. It's like 3 weeks to wait. But I won't be here. But, yeah, besides that, everything else been good though. I did have a question though.
What's up?
That's messed up how Sha'Carri, how you say her name?
Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri can't run, but we got this trans woman,
Hey, I agree. You got this, actual biological male, a male Whitley. He was actually competing as a male for 15 years in his field weightlifting. He was competing as a male with no success. He was like a hobbyist, right? No medals, no win, no nothing. And then he became a quote unquote transgender woman and started winning medals. And now he's like one of the favorites to win gold.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know. That's crazy to me. Like they said she might be able to run the 4x1 though.
Yeah.
If she you know, with the 30-day thing, she might be able to run a 401. But like, she's fast. Like, she could beat me.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
definitely.
that right now.
She
She
definitely
could
will
beat
smoke
me.
me. I'm not gonna be able to run that fast. Nah, I'm good.
But that's all I really got, man. Y'all finna give me an AR pistol though.
You said what now?
I'm finna give me an AR pistol.
Okay, yeah, man.
They got them back in stock. Yeah, we got like a whole bunch of guns over here now. Shout out Heritage Firearms. I'm finna get me it's a 7-inch, shit. I think it's like 7.5 inch muzzle. You know, you can't adjust the buck stock. That's illegal. But it's a nice one. I was running for like $699, $700. So I'm finna pick that up.
Definitely, man. That's a good price. Go out there and get it, man. Get you some nice attachments. Yeah, that'd be fun, man.
Heck yeah. But all right, man. I know you got Ivan waiting to call you, so I'm gonna let you get back to that.
All right, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right, you too.
All right. Now, shout out to the caller. Thank you to Rebecca Starr for your donation. Rebecca says, lymph nodes swell up when your body is trying hard to get rid of poison, but it's having a hard time. Well, hey, you guys are smarter than I am. I don't know nothing. I'm just reading what you guys tell me. Now you guys are on top of what's happening. So, hey, it is what it is. You know? Got a few more calls?
All right.
267 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Now, shout out to the caller.
Hello?
Thank you to Rebecca.
Yes, I got a little bit of feedback. All righty. What's happening?
Yeah, I paused it.
Okay, 267. I don't know what happened. You got to tighten up, get some minutes on there by my phone. But I didn't hang up on you, man. Okay, let's see if you can call back. All right, are you there?
Hey, ABL.
What's going on?
Hi, so I'm a first time caller. I've been watching your show for a minute. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so I'm from Philly and I just wanted to talk about, like the inner city violence and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. A lot of these cities, like Philly, LA, New York, Chicago, Detroit, it's a mess. And these places, a lot of them got, I think pretty much all of them have Democratic leadership. And at a certain point, it's like, what is leadership doing? They're talking about defunding the police and they don't support the police they do have. So it's like, how are you going to combat this violence if you don't really want to support the police?
Yeah, it's just crazy. A lot of the stuff that people in the black community don't realize is like pretty messed up. People talk about how they say it's a conspiracy or like that. They say it's like the government fault that black people are the way that they are today. Like black people aren't able to control themselves and stop themselves from shooting each other or whatever. Or like they don't have any personal agency. It's pretty ridiculous. Like even people talking about how like I was talking with my mom, like me and her we don't get into it, but like sometimes we have conversations and stuff like that. She don't really want to hear my opinion sometimes. Even though like I'm young and I'm conservative for the most part, even my girlfriend, like we get along together even though we disagree on stuff like that. But just the fact that like people complaining about the public school system or whatever, what have you, it's like, okay, are we educating our own children? Are we making sure that they're reading before they go to school? Are we teaching them stuff like, teaching them how to invest and stuff like that, how to save their money in a budget instead of buying stupid stuff that's not going to help them, or even preparing for career and stuff like that?
Exactly. I mean, that's what really matters because we can't just rely on the government to do everything for us. And that's a problem right there because especially like when you're talking about black and white. Now, I'm not saying this always happens because it wasn't my case, but generally this is what goes on. And this can explain why certain things are the way they are. Like I said it before many times. A lot of times white kids will have some kind of education before school. Not all the time, but a lot of times. More than black kids, unfortunately. Some kind of education. They know how to color in between the lines. They can write their own name at least, count to 10, count to 100 or something before they get to school. And maybe they have some kind of preschool, some kind of little, like I was in a Christian daycare preschool. something like that before they get to kindergarten. So when they get to kindergarten, they're already kind of set up a little bit. But a lot of black kids are a blank slate when they get to kindergarten. They can't read at all, not even their own name. They can't color, they can't draw, they can't do anything. They rely upon the government. And then they blame that same government for not telling their kids anything. Well, it's like, hey, if you already know that the government is not to be trusted, you don't like them, then why would you rely upon them for everything in your life? You got to take responsibility to teach your kids certain things and not rely upon the government for everything.
Yeah, even that, like my father and my mother, they were separated pretty much after I was born. But I specifically remember my father teaching me how to read. I was like 3 years old. We'd be outside on the step, writing on the steps, words in the chalk and stuff like that. My mom making me do like pre-K workbooks when I was younger before going to school. And stuff like that pretty much does help. And it's just crazy to see, especially in my community where like pretty much all the houses around me are like, they're like, it's called PHA. It's like government housing, but it's a lot of people you just see them like it's like pretty much a lot of women. Like it's a lot of women. They stay at home. They don't work. They just exist, basically just be there. And like they have family and all of that stuff, like kids and stuff like that. But like even then with the welfare system, it's like you just see how people won't be married. They'll just have a family or whatever, have a boyfriend, and then like, oh, when it's time for the boyfriend to leave or whatever problems they're going through, it's just like, okay, you can leave. There's no type of like stick to it to this. Like with me and my girlfriend, like when we argue and stuff like that, I just try to make sure like, like we're on the same page. We talk about the issue. It's not like, okay, whatever, I don't need you. We're just gonna move on, blah blah blah. But that's just a lot of stuff that people don't realize, especially like young people my age. They see social media and stuff like that. It's just the image of perfection when in reality it's not like that.
Right, absolutely.
Especially with relationships.
100%. People, they see certain things that they think are one way, but it's not really that way. It's all smoke and mirrors. What really matters at the end of the day is how things are, not how people perceive them to be, for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the fact that I got to call in and stuff like that. It's great. It's my first time calling.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good night.
All right, great call. Fantastic call. But yeah, man, it's a mess. Yeah, you can't rely upon the government for everything. It's weird because people say that they don't trust the government. They after police, after government, but yet you want to rely upon the government to teach your kids everything. And if they don't, then you're mad at them. But where were you at? I mean, and then this whole thing about, you got to have money. What's money got to do with it? I'm born really ran outside of Charleston, West Virginia, one of the poorest places in the Union, in the whole U.S. of A. Look it up, Rand, West Virginia. Average income, $16,000 right now. Right now, average income, annual, $16,000. Maybe it's $18,000, I don't know. Anyway, you come from that in a trailer, literally. And then we moved to Virginia because my dad was working my dad was working, my mom was staying home before they got divorced. And my dad worked at a hardware store. And we had a trailer. In West Virginia, we had a trailer in the small town or whatever. We came to Virginia, straight to the ghetto. If you know about Newport News, right on the corner, Jefferson and Mercury, right by the JRB. So right there in the ghetto, in a trailer, mom's at home. I'm learning how to read, learning how to write, doing flashcards. I went to a Christian preschool, learn my grace, all that. Once I went to this little homeschool when I was a little kid, and I remember it was a real small house. We in the hood, it's the ghetto, everybody's black. We run in front of this little TV, eating food on the ground, just sitting on the ground eating, and everybody saying their grace right there. I remember it being so small, it was like probably about 15 kids in one little small circle in front of this little 13-inch TV. But how much cash does it take to count to 10? To go A, B, C, D, E? How much does that cost? People talk about money. It's like, what money? And then you talking about like Baltimore public schools. they get the most money, or like the third most money per pupil in the entire USA. Detroit is like number 1 or number 2. The money is irrelevant. All that the money does is go to these administrators and counselors and contractors and consultants. They're iced out. They iced out watches and rings and all that good stuff. Driving big cars. It's like these poverty preachers in the ghetto with the Benz. That's like that in these schools. The money is irrelevant because at the end of the day, how much does it cost to teach kids 1 + 1 is 2? 2 + 2, how much does that cost? I mean, there are schools in other parts of the world that have nothing and can raise kids to really be successful. A lot of these Nigerian doctors, I mean, how did they get to that point? Like, they come from Nigeria. What kind of education did they have? Like, what kind of expensive, $1 million school did they come from? You tell me. But I digress. That's the problem. Parents don't care about their kids. Parents have these kids and don't care at all. They want to go smoke crack, drink, hang out in the club, party, leave the kids over at grandmama's house. Grandmama, she living her life too. Grandma about 37 years old. She don't really care either. So the kids just pretty much out here on their own, raising themselves. But I digress. Okay, let's get to one more call, shall we? 512, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Desiree. Glad you answered.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to you about two things. I want to roll back real quick. One, I'm from Austin. So Austin's changed, but I wanted to just kind of give you let you know the latest on Austin. You there?
I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So quiet. And so anyway, in Austin, I lived there for 26 years, and then I moved out to a real conservative town called New Braunfels. We were on national news because we were the ones who escorted Biden to San Antonio. But anyway, so in Austin, when I was there, not this March, but the following March before that, I remember BLM and Antifa like blocking the freeway, and the whole freeway would be blocked, and there were like little fires going on, and, they defunded the police and all this stuff. And I remember just thinking, I'm out of here. And so I moved to a small town in between Austin and San Antonio. And so now I would say about 3 months ago, I was like, okay, just for kicks and grins, I'm going to go look to see what's going on in Austin, because Austin was really bad. I mean, like, I remember this gentleman was telling me his son went into the University of Texas at Austin, and he went in conservative and came out liberal. And I was like, I believe it, because there's professors there. And anyway, so I went in there about a few months ago. So this is just before the mask lift in Texas. And I went down there, and I swear to God, ABL, I drove down this street called Congress. It's one of the busiest, most popular places to go during the weekend. Packed, hundreds and hundreds of people. And this is just on a regular weekend. I swear to you, I could probably put on two hands how many people I saw with masks on. So then I called one of my Austin teachers, and a teacher friend of mine that I used to work with. And she was like, oh, yeah, because, I hate to say it, but it's true. Most teachers are very liberal. And so anyway, she was just like, oh, yeah, here at Austin, we've got a problem. They're coming in crowds, and they just don't wear a mask, and they just go into the store, And I was like, yes, And so Austin's really, and then I spoke to some more friends from Austin, and they're saying the same thing's happening with UT also. It was very progressive liberal. They were really pushing the agenda. We even had people with communist flags that did like a little march down there by the university, all proud of communism, which that was freaking weird. But now it's gotten kind of 50-50 from what I understand, So the Austin's changing a little bit, and the Californians that I have seen, and it's not just Californians, I should take pictures and just put it up on Facebook. There are so many states that are coming in, but the ones from California that are coming in right now are the conservatives. They really are. They're conservatives, where before they were coming in for South by Southwest. The Californians bombarded us when South by Southwest was really popular. Do you remember South by Southwest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when they first started coming in. They just really took over Austin. But I remember even then Austin was changing. They weren't as liberal and things were changing. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick is I'm a school teacher, and I just wanted to say two things really quick. That
Quick,
really
please, because
important.
I got no more time. So very, very quick, please.
Okay, so what I wanted to say really quickly is if that your child's in the public school system, be very careful if you have a young teacher just out of the university, because they're doing very liberal things. They're taking it upon themselves to do like mini critical race things. I caught them before. I called them out on it. They're also giving kids, it used to be illegal, but it's not illegal anymore. They give kids candies and chips and sodas in the morning for breakfast. And I've seen this with many young teachers, not the older ones, because we're from the old school where you didn't do that, but they're doing that. So I just want to throw that out there. I know time's up. I really appreciate you calling me. For answering my call. I think you do a great job, ABL. Thank you for everything that you do. And I'm buying your Sir cup. So anyway.
Thank you for the call. Definitely
That's
appreciate
it.
you. All right now.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller, but that will be a wrap for me tonight as far as the calls. Thank y'all for joining. If you couldn't get on, it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man for that as always. But thank y'all again for being here. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, go ahead and give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I'd appreciate it. And we got super chats on deck. I'll read those. And then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. And thank you to the mods for doing what you do, keeping all them trolls in check, keeping everything nice and smooth and clean, because we got little babies watching the show as always. So thank y'all for doing what you do. Couldn't do it without you. Now let me go ahead and get to where I got to go, and then we'll be smooth sailing here. And all right. Matter of fact, here we are. I'm right here. Okay. Thank you to Derek Staroba for the emoji donations, the thumbs up, and the Superman flying, and also ABL. How you get so smart for real, bro? Quick rundown. Well, I mean, I don't know. Thank you for the compliment. All I do is just try to use my brain as much as I can. I just try. I mean, whether it's smart or average, I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to y'all to decide. But I use my brain. I do a lot of research. If I don't know a thing, I don't know it. I'm not going to pretend I do know it. And I'm always do some research, look up what's going on, and then figure out what's happening that way. That's pretty much what I do. And thank you to the fist bump emoji. Thank you to you for the fist bump emoji. And also, he says, are we going to war? I don't think so. Not at all. Shout out to Frank Des, who says Delta virus is a farce to have a mandatory vax mandate. Thank you to my man, Kilo Sushi 99, who says, hope you have a happy 4th. It's on and popping here in North Carolina. Already everyone shooting off fireworks. What's on the menu for the cookout? Everyone have a great 4th. Peace. Hey, thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. We saw fireworks actually here in Tennessee. We saw some on Thursday. It was an event I went to. They had the orchestra playing. It was beautiful. We were right there, like, because my wife, she volunteers with the orchestra. Like, she's not playing instruments. She just helps them with media stuff. So we're in there, like, right with the orchestra, right behind them. Matter of fact, I got some footage somewhere. I don't even know where it's at. But we were right there with the orchestra. It was definitely a great event. I enjoyed it. And after that, they played the fireworks. Well, they had the fireworks, like, right next to it. So it was really fun. Had a great time. Matter of fact, do I have video? I might be able to play it right here. Let me see if I can. You guys probably can't see it, but yeah. And, you know, that's also where we got married. So that venue is a good venue. All right. And let me see. What else I got going on? Oh, Super Chats. I almost forgot what I had going on. But tomorrow, it'll be some more. They probably pop some in the neighborhood where I'm at, and we'll probably go to a cookout, hamburgers, hot dogs, or we might not. We'll see. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. Thank you to Stavros Sarantopoulos. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name there, boss, who says, hello, ABO. I enjoy your content. Truth matters. Thumbs up. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Shout out to Andre Lopez, who says, I appreciate men like you. Happy 4th. Thank you. Thank you to Nicole Lowe, who says, blacks are lost. They won't see the truth wearing these masks and playing power trips on people. Wow. But thank you for that. I appreciate you. And Nicole looks to be black. She's just saying how she feels. Thank you to Great Lee, who says, what if we as a nation vote on 10 or more crucial topics that everyday citizens are required to ask a press secretary? This way, we can eliminate mainstream media in these meetings and have us all involved like jury duty. That'd be a madhouse, but it's an idea that it makes some sense, but I'm not really sure how they would execute it. But I see where you're coming from. Thank you to Derek again for the thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, have a wonderful 4th and pray for our country. USA freedom is not free. There you go. Thank you to it's Rebecca Starr, who says, lymph nodes swell up. Already read that one. But she says, lymph nodes swell up when your body is trying hard to get rid of poison, but it's having a hard time. And thank you to Frank Dest, who says, Delta virus is a farce to have mandatory vax mandate. All right. That's all I got. You guys have been great. Enjoy your Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. Remember, July 4th, 1776, this great nation was started. This great nation was founded. And we are the best nation on planet Earth. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's a fact. And thank you to Derek again for your tea mug donation. I appreciate you. And that'll be a wrap for me. So enjoy your 4th of July. Enjoy your Independence Day. Have fun. Eat hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever you want. You got 16 cents. Go ahead and splurge on some fireworks for that. Pop the M40 right in your neighbor's backyard. I'm playing. But have fun. Be safe. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.